Starks and the Knicks trying to forget about last night and look ahead. Hopefully for the Knicks, better days are ahead. It's the Knicks and the Bullets tonight, live, right here at the Garden. And hi everyone, I'm Bud Mishkin. Welcome to Knicks game night here on MSG. It was a long night for the Knicks in Orlando last night. One of the longest nights of Pat Riley's era here with the Knicks. They faced the Bullets tonight. One of the big stories in the league now, certainly with Chris Webber on board for the last couple of weeks. But again, for the Knicks, what a long night in Orlando. Almost nothing positive to come out of it for Pat Riley and his troops. Before the game, Coach Brian Hill of the Magic with a few quiet moments. There would be very few quiet moments for the Knicks. Shaq seemed like he could do just about everything. He had 38 points. He was 16 of 23 from the field. Yet another move around Patrick Ewing there. But the Magic are not just Shaq and Anthony Hardaway. Donald Royal had a good game driving the baseline there. And Hardaway was terrific. First half, give and go on the break, the resounding jam. Perhaps the highlight that we will most remember from last night, second half. Penny going in, up and over Patrick Ewing for the jam. 33 points, 8 assists on the night. Pat Riley after the game, certainly not a happy man.
They were 10 times more intense than we were, you know. That's the disturbing part of it. You know, they're not only a gifted team, but they played, you know, much harder than we did. That's totally, you know, unexplainable.
The Knick numbers from last night, hardly pretty. At Orlando, they allowed a season-high 125 points and 58% shooting from the field. The 25-point loss was the worst loss since the 29-point loss back in March of '93. That was the fight game against the Suns at Phoenix. The standings in the Atlantic Division, Orlando at the top, streaking 9 games in a row, 9 wins in a row. 3.5 games ahead of the Knicks. You see the Bullets trying to make a move now, looking for their second win in a row. Now for the Alamo scouting report. Bullets fans, up first the starting lineups for the Knicks. The usual starters, Oakley, Ewing, Smith, Harper, and Starks in the backcourt. Now to the Alamo scouting report. Jimmy Lynam, and Bullets fans have to be excited these days. It's been a while since there's been excitement in Landover. Obviously, with the new players on board, the former Sixers and Clippers coach getting a chance to coach Chris Webber now after the dispute in Golden State. It's been a couple of weeks. He's had a chance to relax a bit and get accustomed to playing for the Bullets. We'll have a bit more on Chris Webber during our feature in the next segment. He made an appearance here Thursday night and had a guarantee. He mentioned it to David Letterman.
What's the record since you've been there?
0-4.
0-4. Oh, now come on, pick it up. Pick it up a little.
I know.
Come on.
We're gonna win tomorrow against the Pistons.
Are you gonna guarantee this one?
Well, I might as well.
Yeah, sure, why not?
There's something to talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna guarantee it.
Guaranteed. It's just me. What am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna hunt you down.
And the guarantee worked. Last night at Landover, Calvin Hill, the father of Grant Hill, who is lighting up the league as a rookie for the Pistons, a career-high 28 points. Pistons led by 15 at one point. The Bullets came back. Calvert Chaney, a terrific game from the outside, 19 points off the bench, 4 of 5 from three-point land. Perhaps the highlight of the night, Don McClain to Webber, up and over Mark West. He actually got a tee for taunting here. The Bullets with the 115 to 104 win to end a 6-game losing streak. The Bullets starting lineup: Webber, Duckworth, and McClain in the front court, Skiles and Chapman in the back court. Knicks and Bullets played their first game of the season together Tuesday night. It was the Knicks getting off to a good offensive start. Greg Anthony with a great offensive spurt in the first half. After a Bullets comeback late in the game, this Charles Oakley jumper gave the Knicks a 7-point lead, and they went on to win the final, 99-91. Coming up again, one of the big stories in the league so far, Chris Webber going from Golden State to the Bullets. He's back together with his college teammate, Juwan Howard. We'll have that story on game night when we're coming back.
There's only one place for the widest selection.
Welcome back to the Garden. It's been some time since the Bullets have been the source of excitement in the NBA. A lot of lean years, but that has changed this season with the addition of Juwan Howard and Chris Webber back together again. How's it come to be in D.C.? Here's how. Chris Webber came to the forefront of the basketball world as the emotional leader of Michigan's Fab Five. Unfortunately, his college days may best be remembered for calling a timeout he didn't have against North Carolina. He was the first draft pick overall by Orlando, but was traded to Golden State on draft day for Anthony Hardaway and 3 top-round picks. He signed a 15-year deal with an escape clause after the first year. He went on to win the Rookie of the Year award, but his relationship with Coach Don Nelson deteriorated. He chose to become a free agent. Nelson even made the bold move of offering to step aside as coach to keep Webber in Oakland.
If I am the problem and he doesn't want to be here because of me, then I can be eliminated. I can go away and I can step away. And I've offered to do that more than once. I actually, at the end of last season, I thought they should think about that. Beginning of this season once again, and not more than a week ago, probably.
While Webber had problems in the Bay Area, his Michigan teammate and friend Juwan Howard was holding out of Bullets camp. After being the Bullets' top-round pick, he and his agent David Falk waged a bitter contract battle with Bullets GM John Nash.
There hasn't been much dialogue of late, and I think there's still hope. We're very hopeful that he's going to join us in the immediate future. We kind of hope each day that tomorrow we're going to see Juwan, and yet we've been disappointed thus far. But I think it makes a lot of sense for Juwan to play, and hopefully he'll agree with that in the very near future, but I can't speak for him.
Howard finally reported to practice after the two parties were able to agree on a 12-year, $41 million deal with 11 years guaranteed, reportedly the Bullets' original offer.
I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that. I'm just showing confidence that I feel that I can be a star in this league. Just give me time. You know, I'm not saying I give me all 12 years, the 12 year, but I'm saying it's just a matter of time and just learn the system and everything will be all right.
The same day, Nash hit the daily double. He acquired Webber from Golden State for the Bullets' most popular player, Tom Gugliotta, plus 3 first-round picks. Webber had just signed a 1-year deal, and Nash had his man.
Despite the fact that these two young men are young men with not a great deal of experience at the NBA level, they're people that we think we can work with for the next 10 to 12, 15 years, perhaps. And this is the group that you're going to see compete in the immediate and probably the long-term future in Washington, D.C.
Feels good to be here, and feels good to be a Bullet. And I'd like to thank everybody in the organization for even just the 1.5 days I've been here, just making me feel welcome and making me feel at home already.
So with 1 day of practice under Coach Jim Lynam, the two made their debut in front of a sold-out crowd at the U.S. Air Arena. People began to forecast the Bullets as immediate Eastern Conference contenders. But they proved there will be a learning process as the Bullets lost to the Celtics, Calvert Chaney missing at the buzzer. They went on to lose 4 in a row before a win last night over the Pistons. Now with Webber and Howard in Bullets uniforms, the future is indeed bright in D.C. Now the question is Webber looking to rent or to buy in Washington? You see, he's a restricted free agent after this season, and there have been rumors that he might be looking to go back home to Detroit to play for the Pistons. So the question is, will he be in for several years to come in a Washington Bullets uniform? Obviously, Bullets fans are hoping that is the case. When we come back, we'll hear from Doc Rivers, and in Nick's notebook, the visit from Bernard King back to the Garden as a member of the Bullets.
Hi, I'm Al Troutwig. Join me for the Al Troutwig Show. We'll be talking to, we could have a problem.
Success on Wall Street depends on what you know. Standard & Poor's Outlook brings you the weekly market forecast, stock recommendations, and allocation advice of one of the world's top investment research organizations. Each week, you'll get fresh news and thoughtful analysis to keep you ahead of fast-breaking developments and help you profit from them. Articles offer insight into companies in the limelight, industries, and the economy. One of the most acclaimed features, S&P's STARS, Stock Appreciation Ranking System, gives you our analyst rankings of more than 1,000 actively traded stocks. Carefully carefully researched, with weekly updates to inform you of any change in opinion. It's like having the finest securities analysts working for you. Call 1-800-285-8300 to order 3 months of The Outlook, 12 issues, for only $29.95, a saving of more than 50%. Call 1-800-285-8300 and have your credit card ready.
Believe it, the Men's Apparel Liquidation Center in Farmingdale. A better way to buy better menswear. Aisle after aisle, one great name after another at prices you won't believe. We sell only brand new first quality current season menswear, suits, sport coats, slacks, outerwear, ties, belts, and more. If you can't find it here for less, they don't make it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Now open Thursday through Monday till Christmas for all your holiday shopping.
399 Smith Street, a block and a half east of Route 110.
Thousands of shoppers make Christmas the time to give a Carrot Shop diamond. At 50% or more savings, there's a size and shape for every budget.
I found the selection here was a lot bigger than most of the other stores. It's showing me all different styles and settings.
50% off, you know it's a great savings.
This is a place with the greatest selection and the best prices.
An engagement ring under the tree would be very nice.
The Carrot Shop's got it.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
Tonight in Knicks Notebook, some memories of a former Knick and Bullet, Bernard King. In a Knick uniform, fans fondly remember that glorious swing through Texas in '85, when in San Antonio and then Dallas, Bernard had magically put together back-to-back 50-point games. But the smiles turned to grimaces when one night in Kansas City, King's knee exploded. But he fiercely battled back, screaming out his determination every weight lift along the way. The Knicks later renounced his rights, but as a Bullet, he was reborn as an all-star. And on January 31st, 1991, just after that announcement, King's Bullets took to the Madison Square Garden floor. And without so much as a knee brace, Bernard King that night owned the game. He took 35 shots and 20 of them went in. He did it outside and flourished inside. But the real trademark that always was his was on display too. A flat-out charge to the basket with grace and strength. The game ended 107-98 and was the last time the Bullets won at the Garden. It was also a night Bernard's dad just shook his head with pride. In 1993, King's 15-year NBA career came to a close.
All right, thank you, Al. Welcome back to the Garden. Another man who seriously knows from serious knee injuries. Doc Rivers returned to his first regular season action last night for almost a year. It was right on this court almost a year ago that he got hurt. A serious knee injury. He spoke to our John Andres a few minutes ago about the return.
Doc, how did it feel last night getting back on the floor once again?
I felt strange. You know, I've been playing basketball, but I haven't been playing in a game, in a real game. It was really nice. It was nice for that first shot to go in. It was nice to even throw the ball away a couple of times just to get back into the ruckus.
Doc, you've been through the ups and downs of professional basketball. Last night, the team had a crash landing. How do you explain it, number one, and what does the team do to respond? What do you feel the team will do?
Well, as to the second question, the way you respond is by winning. The great thing about the NBA over college or high school basketball is when you lose or win, you play the next night or you play in another night, and you can get it out of your way. But you don't forget that. And we came out, we didn't play well. They played extremely well. We caught them on a high streak, and it hurt us.
Doc, the feeling now with the team, that will linger on, I'm sure, for a while. Now you look at Washington tonight in a busy couple of days. How do you think the execution will be different than it was last night?
Well, hopefully the ball goes in a couple of times more. We just need to get in our offense and move the ball a little bit better. Defensively, I thought we were even soft last night, and that's the one thing. We're a defensive team, not an offensive team. And if our defense is bad, we're going to lose basketball games.
Question now is how long will Doc Rivers be here with the crowded situation at the Knicks guard position, but everybody's got to be happy just to see him back in uniform and healthy once again. When we come back on Knicks game night, we'll head to the MSG Sports Desk. Mike Crispino with the Day in Sports when we come back here at the Garden.
and they'll have to do it without Derek Coleman, who missed his second straight game with a sprained right wrist. Last night in Miami, horrendous effort against Kevin Lockery and the Miami Heat. It was Glenn Rice doing most of the damage. He was here, he was there, he was everywhere. A huge run, 14 of 18 for Glenn Rice. The Nets had an early lead, but then Rice and company went to work. Alley-ooping all over the place. Butch Beard, his team down 66-51 at halftime. He saw Liddell Eccles. Liddell Eccles is back in the league, feeding Kevin Willis, who had a Heat career high 31 and 17 rebounds. It was a 7-point third-quarter lead for Miami. Then Rice with more on the run. Where are the blue shirts? Back on the fast break? Not really. Rice laid it in. The dejected Nets are home tonight in the cozy confines of the Meadowlands. Bobby Hurley returns to his home state, New Jersey, to play his second professional game there. Considering that horrible auto accident last year, it's a surprise. It's really a miracle that he is playing basketball again. Last night in Philadelphia, the Kings went down for the 9th time in 10 tries at the Spectrum. Hurley came off the bench in 19 minutes, had a couple of points and 6 assists. Wasn't enough, however, as they lost it by 3 to John Lucas's team, playing their first game in 6 days. He'd been running double sessions for the Sixers. Great shot by Hurley here into the teeth of the defense. It was tied at 65 headed to the fourth quarter. Then Clarence Weatherspoon went to work. Fadeaway, tough one, too. And he got it. 18 points for him. Biggest lead was 88-81. Then Willie Wanderlust Burton, who's had all kinds of trouble getting to practice, being on time for planes and everything, laid it in. 25 points for him. Mitch Richmond had 30. It wasn't enough. 99-96 was the final. Well, that deal for Weber and Gugliotta hasn't paid any dividends yet for either team. The two teams, Golden State and Washington, have won just 1 game each. The Warriors will be hosting the Pacers tonight on the West Coast. Gugliotta will be in uniform for Golden State. The game that has the nation buzzing, however, is happening in Los Angeles. The Clip Dogs, the Clippers, that is, and the T-Worsts, the T-Wolves, will go at it there. They have won 2 games of their first 27. Minnesota has both wins. The Clippers are 0-14. Coming up in a few moments here on MSG, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks against the Washington Bullets. Enjoy, everybody.
New York Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Everybody limbo!
Things started out just fine. A solid first half by Greg Anthony was a big part of that. And New York was powerfully up by as many as 18 points in enemy territory. Then came a drastic change. That man, his all turned on run, and the Bullets were within 2. So down the stretch, the Knicks needed a hero to help them hold on. And Patrick Ewing was that man, keeping Jim Lynam's team just far enough away. Then Charles Smith put the capper on the game, which eventually ended up 99-91 Knicks. The NBA's loudest, rudest fan, Robin Ficker, was reading all about it, about a winner within, a philosophy the Eastern Conference champions live by in good times and bad. Now trying to erase a nightmare in Orlando last night, New York welcomes Washington to town to duel again. It's Bullets over Broadway, next. Welcome you live to the home of the Eastern Conference champions, Madison Square Garden, where tonight the Knicks play host to the Bullets of Washington, who finally got their first win in the Juwan Howard, Chris Webber era last night against Detroit. It's an Atlantic Division matchup tonight, and the Knicks will have a lot of these in the week ahead. But they're already 3.5 games behind the hottest team in the NBA, the Magic of Orlando. The Bullets 5 up and 7 down, 2 games behind the Knicks. Hi, everybody. I'm Al Troutwig in for Marv Albert, of course, alongside John Andres. And, John, I know people are supposed to go to Orlando to relax, but I don't think they're supposed to go to Orlando and relax by that much.
It was a bad show last night for the Knicks, Al. And, you know, when you look at the game, you can break it down any way you want to, and it's all a bad story for Pat Riley and his coaching staff. But when you focus on the simple part of the game, and that is outscoring the other team, that's where the Knicks really weren't up to the task last evening. When you look at the starters particularly, you can see how they set the pace and the tone for the game and the rest of their teammates. Charles Oakley, Charles Smith, Patrick Ewing, Starks, Harper, all combining for 38% from the field. And over the last 5 games, you take it back even further, and it's 42% after that. So the Knicks have got to do something about shot selection. Now, if they can turn the page back to Tuesday of this week when they played the Washington Bullets and they got into good ball distribution and spreading their offense out and good ball movement, they'll get better shots and undoubtedly a higher percentage if they can go back to that form.
Well, the Bullets are suddenly the team in Landover that makes that sellout city, and a big reason for that is that they finally have their franchise player. And it's exciting because we're going to get a chance to see a lot more of Chris Webber because he's in the Atlantic Division now.
Well, they went after him. They paid a big price, and they're starting to get the results and finally got a win after Chris Webber had joined this team 5 games ago. Webber, I think he's the power forward version of Shaquille O'Neal from the standpoint of the Washington Bullets. Last night against Detroit, though, he was a killer. He returned to his hometown, dunking that ball, moving very tight around the basket and getting the shot when he wanted to get it. And with a Don McClain pass, he was also very tough throughout that game. He got a technical foul, by the way, for that glance, a taunting look that drew him the technical. For the season, over 16 a game, almost 50% from the field. He's one of the NBA's leading rebounders at over 11 a game. He's one of these players, Al, that already we see in his young career. He's there every night. Very tough player, and you know they want to repeat their victory last night and keep it going.
And the Bullets have shown some comeback ability with Chris Webber. On Tuesday night, down 18, they came within 2. The Knicks eventually beat them. Last night, they were down 15. They come back to beat the Pistons. The master motivator, Pat Riley, will find out exactly how he gets the Knicks emotionally ready to take on the Bullets at home in a moment.
Today's term is slam dunk. Sometimes I feel there's nothing more fun than a slam dunk. Man, that feels good.
You'll feel good with this at your fingertips, an IBM PS1 with CD-ROM. And the IBM ThinkPad notebook is no long shot. It's a slam dunk.
When you want the good stuff, nobody beats the will.
They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds the same in the U.S. and Mexico as it does in Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's the international language of business. And wherever it's spoken, Delta Airlines can put you right in the middle of the conversation. And then we'll bring you back to that place where you don't have to say a word to be understood. Delta Airlines.
There are 2 kinds of companies, the quick and the dead. Speed wins.
Here, Pepper. Bring it here, boy.
Honey, dinner's ready.
Let's go, Pepper.
Honey.
All right, all right. Can I get some help here?
New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
An instant cash game where you can win $1,000 a week for the rest of your life. I feel very happy. I'm excited.
Great!
$1,000
For the rest of my life. Keep it coming.
Win for life from the New York Lottery. You keep living, we'll keep paying.
I want to live forever.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Ice Draft. Taste the future of draft beer. New ice brewed ice draft from Budweiser. By The Card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. By Delta Airlines, official airline of Madison Square Garden. And by Citibank, for banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
It is the 7-5 Knickerbockers trying as quickly as they can to forget about last night's 25-point loss to the Magic. Let's meet the lineups.
4 from Kentucky, number 3, Rex Chapman. And guard at 6'1 from Michigan State, number 4, Scott Skiles. And forward at 6'10 from Michigan, number 2, Chris Webber. 6'10" from UCLA, number 34, Don McClain. And at center at 7 feet from Eastern Illinois, 00, Kevin Duckworth. The trainer is Kevin Johnson. Assistant coaches Bob Stack and Derek Smith. And the head coach, Jim Lino.
Back-to-backs in the NBA are certainly tough, except if you get blown out in the first game. The schedule allows you to get rid of that memory less than 24 hours later. Knicks 4-1 at home. Remember, they were stung, however, by the Hornets in their last home game by 10 on the 26th. And tonight's game, John, marks the beginning of a very important Atlantic Division stretch, which actually began last night against Orlando. But the Knicks will get a chance to see the Sixers on Monday, then the Celtics on Tuesday, wrapping up the week Friday at Atlanta on the Delta Airlines upcoming schedule.
Well, the Knicks are happy you know about this busy schedule because of what happened last night, Al. They have a lot of work to do to get back in sync. And you know, this man, with all of his intensity, is delighted that there is a game 24 hours after what happened in Orlando.
Patrick Ewing badly outplayed by Shaquille O'Neal last night, and Chris Webber steps onto the floor here at the Garden. Joe Crawford, Ken Maurer, and Ron Oleziak on assignment from the NBA tonight. And Webber will jump it up against Ewing. And it's one on the second tap. Derek Harper and John Starks in the backcourt, of course. Oakley, Smith, and Ewing up front. Duckworth on Ewing. Smith. Knicks on the board first.
Nobody on Smith after 4 passes. That should be a lesson for the Knicks tonight.
Scott Skiles picked up by the Knicks point man, Derek Harper. Don McClain guarded by Smith. Ewing on Duckworth. Oakley on Webber. Starks on Chapman. The fake by McClain gets him nothing as he's well short. Ewing goes up big. Well short on the finger roll. He got stopped by somebody inside. Charles Smith fails to get the bounce. And he'll go to the line for 2. John, right away I look at this Chris Webber Charles Oakley matchup, and it's one that you want to look at as this game moves along. You've got the mobility of Webber and the strength of Oakley to try and slow down that mobility.
Should be a great matchup, Al, and it will not be what you would think, because Webber is just a second-year man. He is a very mature guy physically, although one of the youngest people in the NBA. In fact, he and his teammate, Juwan Howard, are 2 of the youngest 6 players in the NBA at 21 years of age.
With the Band-Aid, he looks like he was in a Riddick Bowe press conference.
That occurred a couple of stitches last night in the 3rd quarter against Detroit.
The first win for Chris Webber and Juwan Howard in Bullets uniforms, and they came back from 15 down to do it. Skiles for Chapman. And now Webber. Webber with a soft touch on the jump hook.
I was describing Al Webber as a power forward version of Shaquille O'Neal. Derek Harper drives, takes apart that Washington internal defense. And on that first move and hoop of the game for Weber, he reminded me of Shaquille, the way he rolled to the basket.
6-2, 90 seconds in. Hand check foul called by Derek Harper. Oakley with Chris Weber.
Weber picking his way inside, gave a little fake to the left to Charles Oakley, and then rolled in unimpeded.
I've never understood the appeal of 0-0, but Kevin Duckworth wears it and comes up short, followed by Weber, but a foul. He used some contact to gain position on Oakley. His first. Second team foul on the Bullets. They're the hot ticket in town. Abe Poland calling it one of the landmark days in franchise history. The acquisition of Weber and the signing of Howard, and a spectacular move by John Starks. Chapman. Bullets 1 for 4 to start this one. Charles Oakley gets the turnaround. Kevin Duckworth was on him on the switch, and Oakley got it over that 7-foot outstretched arm. And Jimmy Lynam doesn't like the way this one is starting, so a timeout here at the Garden. It is a 20 with 9:35 to go in the first quarter. 10-2 Knicks.
Well, both teams playing last evening, so they're both comparatively equally rested at any rate, although great pressure on the Knicks was such that they have to snap out of the doldrums, certainly more than Washington does. But the Knicks here at home, after that tough workout last night, as they were worked over, are looking very sharp here by pushing the ball up court. And with a couple of passes, they're breaking down the Bullets defense very quickly.
Moments ago, this great move by John Starks.
Well, John is concentrating. He could have looked, you know, Al, you notice he didn't even look for the jump shot. He's focusing on driving that basketball. That's the message. He's only been to the line twice in the last 5 games, so he's got to draw fouls.
And John, you know they say so often you hit a few layups and suddenly you're hitting jumpers. Oh, Chapman misses and Weber is there. Chris Weber's impact felt in the game. 10-4 New York. Starks this time for 3. Followed by Oakley. They say he pushed off Don McLean to grab the offensive rebound. It was one thing the Knicks did okay in last night's game, and it's almost frightening that a team can win the battle of the boards as the Knicks did last night and lose by 25.
Well, the way Orlando was shooting the basketball, it negated the rebounding statistics, Al. You know, they just shot the ball so incredibly well throughout the game. They never had any lulls, and for the game itself, they were at 50%.
Right after the stoppage with Joe Crawford and Derek Harper, they finally get things going. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. McLean gets the ball on the move. It's out of bounds off the foot of Charles Smith.
The Knicks look much more alert inside the foul line as a team than they did last night.
Chris Weber with an almost nonchalant fall away 20-footer. Weber's 3 for 3 with 6. All 6 of the Bullets' points.
Patrick Ewing, not realizing, caught the ball. He's mystified by it. Took one step, took another step.
Can't do that.
He's made a couple of infractions like that this season, Al. He made one here at the Garden when he double dribbled. That it shows, you know, I was thinking earlier today, Al, that Patrick, I believe, for the first time this summer, did not play basketball because of the knee operation. And it's just another example of how out of sync he is when you see a play like the one he just committed.
Of course, Patrick says everything's fine. He feels great, and everyone who wonders whether he is okay or not just has to go with that. Scott Skiles hits the 3. He's the first Bullet other than Chris Weber to hit a hoop.
Well, despite Patrick's feelings, his coach and several of his teammates have differed. Oh, what a great move. Oh, a fake. A fake, Al. We saw a fake, and it worked.
Charles Smith was the faker. McLean over Smith, all net. Oh, now the other bullets, aside from Weber, are getting into it. Harper goes right past Duckworth, but he's there to grab the miss. Skiles thought about another long-range three. Duckworth is going to go. Starks on Chapman. Got tangled up, keeps it 10 on the 24. Harper goes to drive again and draws a foul.
Let's take a look at the last hoop of the Knicks offense in action here. Charles Smith, that little ball fake. And the effect of that fake is that his man becomes stationary. He loses his flow, and it enabled Charles to fire on forward.
Jerome, Andre, Shannon, Marshall. What is this? Star Search. Big name players, funky dances. Madden NFL 95. EA Sports.
You've got to see this beauty perform. Goes from 0 to 70 fast. So quiet, you don't even know it's running. It's a high-efficiency slant-fin boiler. Even when it's below 0, this computer-designed boiler quickly heats the house. Reduces heating bills, too. Slant-fin uses metal push nipples, not flimsy gaskets which can leak. Replace your old boiler with a slant-fin. It just can't be outperformed.
Thousands of shoppers make Christmas the time to give a Carrot Shop diamond. At 50% or more savings, there's a size and shape for every budget.
I found the selection here was a lot bigger than most of the other stores. It's showing me all different styles and settings. 50% off, you know it's a great savings.
This is a place with the greatest selection and the best prices.
An engagement ring under the tree would be very nice.
The Carrot Shop's got it.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
Of Long Island's most prominent automobile dealerships is proud to present two of the nation's most prestigious automobile brands, Buick and GMC Truck. Now you can save twice with the Tom Rice price when you buy or lease any brand new Buick or GMC truck. And remember who gives you the lowest prices, the biggest inventory, and the absolute best service.
Only at Tom Rice Buick, you get the Tom Rice price. Tom Rice Buick.
And GMC Trucks.
It's the 1994 sports auction at Madison Square Garden next Tuesday night. Don't miss your chance to bid on exciting sports trips, equipment, tickets to world-class events, and sports memorabilia while raising money for the YMCA Youth Scholarship Fund. Ticket price includes a dinner, auction, and a ticket to the Knicks-Celtics game following the auction. Call 212-630-9616 for more information.
7:12 to go in the first quarter. It is the Knicks 12. Still 12 with Derek Harper at the line. He drew the foul on the drive. It was charged to Scott Skiles, his first. Derek averaging just under 12 and just under 6 assists so far this season. And with a right to left spin on the ball, he gets it to fall. It's strange when you see a player not get a forward to backward spin on the ball, but it worked. McLean fakes right, goes left, draws two. Weber. And they've got Smith on Weber on the switch. Duckworth goes jump hook on Ewing. And Oakley pulled it down on the line. It will be bullet ball.
Knicks big men are moving very well together. They're communicating, not necessarily verbally, but they're into each other's motions out there and covering so well.
Chapman very quiet in the game so far. Draws the foul from John Starks. Chapman comes in as the leading scorer for the Bullets. That'll probably change shortly with Chris Webber's ongoing contributions, but he's averaging 19 points a game. Webber's already leading this team in rebounding with 11 per game. He's got the ball. Actually gives him a little room, and Weber just dances his way into position, and that is just an obvious goaltending on a beautiful spin move. by Chris Webber.
More and more you're seeing Knicks opponents isolating their skilled players on one side of the court and letting them operate one-on-one.
Let's remember as we watch Chris Webber, he is part of Michigan's class of 95. His class is going to graduate next spring. Smith for Oakley, who's got Skiles on him. He missed on 2 chances with Scott Skiles on him. Webber behind the back for Chapman. And that's the way the script reads. On a pass like that, you make that shot, and Chapman did.
And that's when basketball is fun. Played the way Webber and Chapman just did.
Offensive foul. Charles Smith is called on setting the screen and moving while he was setting it. Webber hasn't missed 4 for 4.
Beautiful behind the back pass by Webber to Rex Chapman, who had plenty of time.
Chapman for Skiles. Duckworth posting on Ewing. Bangs into him hard. Gets it to go. An off-balance leaner by Kevin Duckworth. 15-3 run by the Bullets of Landover, and they lead it 17-13. Starks lays it off for Ewing. Smith is wide open. Charles Smith has 8 of the Knicks' 15 points. The one thing, John, that I thought really been missing in some of these struggling games of the Knicks is ball movement. It's one of those things you take for granted. And yet sometimes it's difficult to reestablish it, especially effectively. It's one thing to just pass the ball around. It's another thing to get the ball to the right man at the right time.
It doesn't seem to happen on the road for the Knicks, but here they can get into it.
Harper way off, and there's Skiles with 2 teammates, Chapman and Webber. They can both run the break, and Starks is there to pick it off. Now it's the Knicks 3, 4 on 2. Smith apart. Charles Smith with 10 points. He's also perfect from the floor. So the offensive story of this game right now is Charles Smith against Chris Webber. They both have not missed a shot. Oakley overplays to go for the steal, but draws the foul, does Chris Webber. Second foul on Oakley.
How about Webber helping him up?
Something Oakley will rarely do.
And Charles is not interested at all in the help.
Anthony Mason into the game for the Knicks. And substitutions, and the pattern of them is going to become increasingly more difficult for Pat Riley. They've already got Charlie Ward out of the picture on the injured list with the return of Anthony Bonner and Doc Rivers. You still got Doug Christie, who they want to be a big part of this team. Who's going to go when he comes back? Don McLean is out, and Calbert Cheney, who had a great game against Detroit last night, comes off the bench. Ewing with the big rebound. Harper, left side, right side, inside for 2.
Well, it's a big difference when you have Scott Skiles in front of you versus Anthony Hardaway, and Harper's enjoying the difference.
Deliberate dribble by Skiles, under 4 minutes to go in the first. They go up for Webber. He got behind Smith, and that was almost amazing. Charles Smith, his first miss on the fall away. Rex Chapman is there. So it's Cheney on the front line with Webber and Duckworth. Skiles and Chapman still in the backcourt. Mason, the only Knicks substitution so far for Oakley, who's got 2 fouls. Ewing high above the rim for the rebound. Mason on the break.
Derek Harper's making it happen.
The Knicks respond to the 15-3 bullet run with an 8-zip run of their own. They've got the lead back, and it's 4 points with 3:04 to go in the first at the Garden.
And remember, you're playing for Bud Light, ladies. The boys are back in town.
These guys are good.
Who are you calling guys?
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals. Ma'am, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Jenny, take this down. If you need to reach me this morning, I've got a 9 o'clock. At 4, I have to stop at Aunt Holly's in the vet. 5 by 5, 6, 8, 7, 8. That's Aunt Holly, not the vet. Okay, synchronize your watches. Here's the bus. Love you, kids. Bye. Okay, guys, here's how it looks for today.
Motorola has made it easier to stay directly in touch with those important to you.
Not sure what
We got a better idea.
I've got to...
We'll page you.
Motorola Pagers for the messages you can't afford to miss.
Motorola Pagers are available at PageNet.
What favorite things come with a Galant ES? Automatic transmission, air conditioning, and much more. And what do you pay for all this? Just $209 a month with $1,000 down. For a limited time, a great lease on a great Galant. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Well, the Knicks let the Bullets catch up and go by them for a moment, but now they've turned things around. A lot of it's due to this rebounding. We're taking a Perry Ellis look at Patrick Ewing igniting a fast break. Looking at Derek Harper make his selection, and he makes a very nice one.
You know, John,
Anthony Mason appreciated.
No one does the Perry Ellis look quite like you.
Thank you, Al. And from a man who has quite a commercial commitment himself, that's quite a compliment. Nobody, Al, nobody beats.
Please don't, John. 3:01 to go in the first, and the Knicks are doing it on the break. Chapman and Skiles work a back and forth, and that's a three-pointer for Scott Skiles. And both Chapman and Skiles are very dangerous if they get it going from out there. Hubert Davis has checked in for the Knicks. He feeds Harper, who gets it to Herb Williams, also just on. Now Mason, and 3 seconds is called on Charles Smith, who was caught down low. Pat Riley said Orlando was just 10 times more intense last night, which was very, in his words, disturbing.
And if he said that publicly, Al, which is an incriminating statement when you think about it, can you imagine what he said privately to his team?
Calvert Chaney on off the bench, so is Juwan Howard. And Chaney will step to the line. You know, Jimmy Lynam can get the offensive contribution off the bench like he got from Chaney last night. 6 of 8 from the floor, 19 points in 21 minutes. That's almost a point a minute in a pretty good bench stretch. And the victory over Detroit. Derek Harper, well short, but he's getting great penetration. That'll pay off in the long run for the Knicks in this game if he can continue to do that. Chaney for 3. It'll be Nick Ball. This team can be a little frightening when they go cold. They've got some streaky shooters. Last week in November, they went 0 for 11 from three-point land in a loss to the LA Lakers. 2 minutes to go. And a foul.
One thing that characterizes the Knicks offense tonight, Al, is motion. They're not stationary when they're past half court into their offense. They're all moving, and that makes it very difficult for the defense to deal with.
The foul was on Calvert Chaney. Knicks out of bounds. Davis had very limited minutes last night. So did Greg Anthony. Anthony Mason gets the roll and the foul. And that gives the Knicks a 1-point lead with a chance for more.
Well, Mason got in good position. Howard now in his 6th NBA game, getting a taste of the strength of Anthony Mason. Howard probably felt he was doing a good job because he made Mason take a shot as he was going away from the basket. But Mason has that soft right-handed hook down beautifully.
Mason, a 73% free throw shooter, cans the free one. Knicks by 2, 1:40 to go. Davis on Chapman. Stutter step between his legs. And the turnaround. Soft touch off the glass. Beautifully done.
Hubert Davis did a terrific job containing Rex Chapman, who can explode by you for a slam dunk. But still, Chapman made a shot. What a play.
Herb Williams gets the foul, and Chris Webber will be called for it. That's the second on Chris Webber. Anthony Bonner, who I thought played a very strong game, just coming back off the injured list last night, checks in for the Knicks. Charles Smith sits. Smith 4 of 5 from the floor, 10 points for New York.
Bonner played 24 minutes, half the game, and the amazing thing was how many times he got to the foul line last night, Al. 10 times the foul line for Bonner. The closest guy to him was Herb Williams, who got to the line for 4 shots. Ewing and Starks, imagine that, each got to the line once last night.
That just can't be. Chris Webber leaves with 8 points, 4 of 5 from the floor. Can't be, I guess, but it was.
You have to accept it.
You must accept it. Chapman again, and they clear it out. Lynham wants him to take Hubert one-on-one, and he's hurt Hubert right now.
I mean, that had bad shot written all over it. A poor shot. Hubert played him well. Coming in tonight, Chapman's been making 40% of his shots. He's been on a John Starks type shooting spree in the last 6 games. He's not been shooting well.
He's made his career taking what looked to be bad shots and hitting them. Juwan Howard is called for the foul. Second foul on him.
You know, in the opening game of the season, this team, the Washington Bullets, shocked the Orlando Magic. It was a game-winning shot by Chapman that did it.
Mason back to the line, so he has definitely had an offensive impact in the last few minutes of this first quarter off the bench. That fast break layup, 3-point play, now to the line again. And John, you know, the Knicks making a commitment to the family well-being of Fred Kerber. He's got to work, but he wants to be with his family. So the Knicks just made sure the whole Kerber family could be right there in the front row.
Fred's out of place. He should be at the press table doing his usual New York Post scoop story, but somehow he and the family got a courtside view for a change.
Now, I'm just doing some lip reading. I thought I saw his son say, "Dad, you sure you want to go with that lead?" But I could be wrong. 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cheney draws Anthony. Good look for Jim McIlvaine, the 7-1 center out of Marquette, who's getting a couple of bonus minutes here in the late stages of the first quarter. George Murasan, the 7-7 center, is on the injured list with a left knee sprain. The Knicks can't quite play it for one final shot. And Anthony Mason just runs right through Rex Chapman. That's an offensive foul. So the Bullets will have 12 and a half to make something happen in a 1-point game with the Knicks up.
Chapman is the play right now.
And there's one of those bad-looking shots that didn't go his way.
He was well played.
Greg Anthony on him. First quarter done. Knicks up 27-26.
Every day in 32 countries and over 300 cities, Delta Airlines takes off to the world of facts and figures, budgets, and bottom lines. And when the job is done, we bring you back to the world of mommies and daddies, boyfriends, girlfriends, and best friends. Delta Airlines.
We give birth to the product. The customer gives life to it. We need the dreams of the people. If people would stop dreaming, we would be useless. You know, there was the time where some customer would pay with a piece of paper. I owe Hermes. Then another one said, I have the same, but it's called American Express. Why not?
American Express can give life to a lot of dreams. We even know how to make them come true.
The card. Chavez versus Lopez. Trinidad versus Carr. Randall versus Moore. The event, Judgment Day in Monterey. 4 championship fights. Saturday, December 10th. Live on pay-per-view. Call your cable company.
Introducing the JVC Easy One, the first point-and-shoot camcorder.
It's so easy, you'll fall in love.
We're about to travel down memory lane with Chris Webber, courtesy of the Bob Page Archives. Bob, a former sports anchor in Detroit, and while there, now chatting with Pete Vesey, did a feature on Chris Webber, who was in 8th grade at Temple High School in Michigan. 8th grade. Remember that as we watch this. I don't think so.
Intimidation, handling the ball down court. What's he going to do?
Unbelievable.
Your basic 8th grader, huh? Oh, man.
And the seats, look at all the empty seats. Well, he's packing the U.S. Air Arena now. Maybe not at Temple in 8th grade, but and a smooth start in this game, and one of impact, too. He had one huge follow-up dunk in that first quarter. 4 of 5 from the floor with 8 points. Knicks on the steal as we begin the second. And from time to time, we will go into the Bob Page archives. Bob has some very interesting video that he's accumulated over the years. Greg Anthony and Hubert Davis in the Knick backcourt with Anthony Bonner, Anthony Mason, and Herb Williams up front, out of bounds off the fingertips of Herb Williams.
Nice idea, but it was too low for Herb Williams. Pat Riley now going with a bench offense out there, and defense, of course. None of the starters out in the court now.
Doug Overton at the point with Larry Stewart, Calbert Cheney, Jim McIlvaine, and that man shooting, Don McLean. Hubert Davis loses the rebound out of bounds. Bullet ball with a fresh 24. Hubert in 8 minutes last night, 0 for 2. In and out by Calbert Cheney. Bonner running through traffic. Gets tangled in the air, but finds Greg Anthony, who looks for Hubert Davis, who fires the 3 and hits it.
Nice simple look by Greg Anthony, getting the ball to Hubert Davis.
Second three-point attempt made by the Knicks. First one they've hit. Overton draws a crowd. And Larry Stewart is picked by Greg Anthony. Overton with him, but there is no challenge. And the Knicks spurt in front to a 32-26 lead. A 7-0 run by New York. Cheney. Lands flat on the back of the rim. Anthony pushes it up again. The no look for Mason, who drives around Stewart.
Mason has too much strength for those guarding him. Stewart hasn't been playing much, and he's not ready to deal with Mason.
Timeout, Washington. The Knicks have gotten 15 points off of their bench, 9 by Mason. The Bullets have gotten only 2.
I don't get it. Some guy bets 228 and makes $3 million bucks.
Can you imagine what Willie Mays would be worth today?
Yeah.
No holiday sweepstakes.
Another Heineken, right?
Yeah, please.
No blimp with our name on it. No racing team.
Hey, Mays.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
Where's all that money come from?
Ticket prices.
Yeah, I guess.
And all those beer commercials.
It's 3 a.m., and you've got to get the year's most important contract to your company's biggest client overseas. And guess what? The fax just won't go through. What are your options? Well, now there's a new option. Call 1-800-THROUGH-FAX, and AT&T's International Fax Service Center will help you solve the problem. Only AT&T guarantees to get your international fax there. No matter what it takes. AT&T, for the life of your business.
There's only one place for the widest selection in front-wheel drive minivans. From the long of it to the short of it. From the value priced to the lap of luxury. The one place for it all is our place, the Minivan Store, at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Now your Chrysler Plymouth dealers have 2 Plymouth Neons, both very playful, frisky, and safety conscious. Plymouth Neon, now available in original and new faster acting.
Yeah, she's my girlfriend. That's it. I got her the $400 ticket. She's impressed by that. She's my girlfriend. Maybe not.
That's John Lovitz.
Al Trowigan for Marv Albert along with John Andres.
You did a Jay Leno a couple of weeks ago, Al. Now you're doing John Lovitz.
Work on a few. You listen, you learn.
Someday you may be a Roy Firestone. You keep this up. He's pretty good at that stuff, too.
Yes, he is. Anthony almost steals it from Doug Overton. Just under 10 minutes to go in the half. Kevin Duckworth back out there. A lot of contact, and it winds up in Nick hands.
Bonner had some surgery. He was out a while, and it hasn't taken him long to get back into his game.
A little pressure by the Knicks in the backcourt. They're enjoying an 11-0 run right now. And they've opened up a 10-point lead.
This is Anthony Bonner's second game of the season.
Duckworth tangled up hard off the glass. Mason with a big rebound and fouled in the process. Bullets showing a little frustration now. Duckworth called, trying to get the offensive rebound. Larry Stewart sits and Chris Webber returns.
Setting up a play now for Mason to work on Webber. He doesn't force it against the taller Mason, against the taller Webber, rather.
Herb Williams, the 15-footer. This happened at glance, John, down the career highs segment on the stat sheet today. I hadn't looked at it in a while. And, you know, sometimes you forget Herb had a 40-point game once for Indiana. I mean, he had that kind of offensive potential. And we've seen it in spurts lately in his time filling in for Patrick Ewing. Don McLean, huge rebound by the new slimmer, trimmer, Kevin Duckworth. And that's a 2-point follow.
Hard to believe McLean is the best shooter on this team at 50%.
Greg Anthony hits, and the Knicks haven't missed in this quarter. 6 for 6 from the floor. At first, it was Charles Smith with 10 quick points. Chris Webber way off right. Now it was Mason with 9 to help the Knicks. Webber tried to stay with Williams spinning along the baseline, and Herb Williams, with some help from Anthony Mason, draws the foul. Albert Cheney is called, his second personal foul. And as a result, Anthony Mason will step to the line. Now, Mason is 3 for 3 from the floor and 3 for 3 from the free throw line, with 2 rebounds and 9 points. Scott Skiles returns to the Bullet backcourt, replacing Doug Overton. First miss of any kind in the game by Anthony Mason. Knicks up 41-28. The Bullets completely flat from the floor in this second quarter. McLean. He just lost Anthony Bonner, who lost his footing and then got the open jumper.
McLean's working very hard for his shots. Finally gets one down. He's their third scorer at 16 a game.
Anthony working one-on-one against Skiles. Now it comes out around the perimeter. Davis stolen away by Skiles, just saves it on the end line.
You're killing me.
They'll clear it out for Cheney to go on Williams. Gets by, meets some opposition, draws the foul, and gets it in.
That was a mismatch immediately taken advantage of by the Bullets. Cheney all of a sudden picked up in transition by Herb Williams. And the advantage is Cheney's speed, which he demonstrated.
Jimmy.
Take a look at it now. No help at all for Herb Williams as Cheney takes the baseline route. If he had gone to the middle, there would have been help.
Greg Anthony tries a no-look bounce pass that Anthony Bonner saves to look pretty. The pass wasn't, but the result was 43-32. The Bullets' average age, you're looking at Calbert Cheney, a Juwan Howard, a Chris Webber. 25 is their average age, so a lot of reasons to look to the future. Patrick Ewing, who has not scored yet in this game, returns, and Herb Williams leaves. Well, there's a look. 5 players under 25 years of age. Not a lot of experience, but only 3 NBA teams have less. And the Bullets also point to the fact that for all the draft picks they gave up to get Chris Webber, they still have a first-round pick in 95, 96, and 97.
Another difficult matchup for Hubert Davis. Calvert Chaney at 6'7", taking advantage of his size. Anthony Mason turning out a tremendous half. He's been quiet of late offensively, but he's exploding here in the first half.
Nick lead back to double digits. And a steal. Greg Anthony emerges with Bonner, and he can run. You know that. Oh, it was beautiful. It was a complete 360 for the ball, and it didn't go. Skiles.
Boy, a 3-on-1 semi-fast break, and Skiles, leading the break, decides to take a three-point shot.
That was the first miss by any one of the Knicks players who have come off the bench. They are 10 from 11, make it 11 for 12 from the Knicks bench.
Tremendous shot by Hubert Davis.
.538 to go, 47-34 Knicks. The Knicks have outscored Washington in this quarter 20-8. Duckworth pounds in on Ewing, loses it out of bounds. Now it's been a quarter to forget for Washington. Rex Chapman returns. The dejected Calvert Chaney slowly walks to the Bullet bench.
Oakley in for Bonner. Bonner getting a nice hand. He gave the team a big lift.
The bench scoring is almost unbelievable. 28-6. And that's the depth of the Knicks. Some graceful move by Hubert Davis a moment ago. What's hard to believe in this game is that Patrick Ewing has only taken 1 shot and has not scored, as I've said. 22nd timeout with Anthony pinned in the corner.
Well, the good part about that, Al, is that the Knicks have a 13-point lead. Last night, he had 14 shots in the first half. Charles Smith had none. A whole different look to the offense tonight. Sharing of the basketball. Knicks are pushing the ball. Harper got off to a good start. And Pat Riley went to his bench right away. After the Knicks established a major presence in the game, he started sharing the playing time. And guys coming off the bench like Bonner and Drake Anthony have done a nice job.
Knicks in action Monday against the Philadelphia 76ers. Sean Bradley is certainly delivering on some of the hope for him. He's playing a good game so far this season. Game night begins our coverage at 7 here on MSG. Looks a lot stronger, a lot more confident. Sean Bradley does. And that's good news for John Lucas. Good news for Pat Riley right now is a 13-point lead. Oakley out high with 10 on the 24-second clock. Mason saves it with a tightrope dance along the end line. And that's over the top and out of bounds. Great balance by Anthony Mason. Pass almost got away from it. Scott Skiles with the ball. His old team, the Magic of Orlando, the best record in the NBA right now. Chris Webber misses on the drive. Outroars Anthony Mason. Oakley running. No look for Mason. Oh, he's having a great first half. Anthony Mason just looks sensational tonight, and Charles Oakley was right with him stride for stride on the break.
He looks like Anthony Hardaway did last night, leading the break, rebounding, passing, and powering his way to the hoop.
John Starks returns. Hubert Davis leaves. Davis's impact. 2 shots taken, 2 shots made, 5 points. Anthony on Skiles. Webber thinking about coming over to double. Starks guarded by Chapman, and Ewing is fouled by Kevin Duckworth. Only the 13th foul, so the Knicks will inbound it.
Jimmy Lynam by his presence and glare, trying to influence his team's play. Surprised that the Knicks haven't gone to Ewing a little bit more. He's always had a very easy time getting the ball, being guarded by Duckworth.
He's got the ball now and gives it up for Oakley. Mason tried to follow up the miss. Duckworth spins away from Oakley, encounters Ewing, tipped up by Weber, tipped again by Weber. Duckworth couldn't get it to go. Bullets 0 for 4, but they get the whistle. You know, Pat Riley does not want to see that. 4 chances, 1 trip up the floor. Charles Smith back, Anthony Mason leaves, and he should hear it from the crowd here. Another sellout at the Garden. Pat Riley's Knicks 10 of 14 shooting in this second quarter. Washington 4 for 15. 4 for 15.
Anthony Mason leads the game with 14 points, 5 out of 5 from the field. What a solid game for him. Greg Anthony also did a nice job.
2 out of 3, 4 points. It's a first half where the star has really been the Knick bench.
Meanwhile, Charles Smith has entered the game after a first quarter when he shot 4 out of 5 from the field to lead the Knicks in the first quarter with 10 points.
Ewing, little fake there, John. Little fake.
Interception by Patrick.
But he just doesn't look right. Did not look right there.
It's always amazed me, though, how the big, strong, heavy guy, Kevin Duckworth, who's now leaving the game, has always allowed Ewing to get the ball down low, and it's set the stage for Ewing to have big games against him. The other side of the picture, though, is that Duckworth has been playing with much more energy this season and is much more of an asset to the Bullets so far this year.
Yeah, we've learned that the knee surgeries are sometimes Skiles. Oh, great touch.
Oh, he got Harper. He got Harper with the fake jump shot. Derek was flat-footed, and Skiles went right around him.
You know, the knee surgeries sometimes get players to say that they're ready before they really are. I mean, Doc Rivers thought he was when training camp got ready, and the competition in practice and so forth told him he wasn't really quite ready. As a matter of fact, as he returned, it's almost a year from the surgery for Doc Rivers. Back in a moment.
The future, 20 years from today.
You'll get your first flying car license. People will control the weather. Clouds will be an art form. 73 will be middle age.
Times change. But since the Wittenauer Long Life has a lithium iodine power source, you won't have to change it for 10,512,000 minutes.
Available at Marvin & Sons Jewelry with 3 convenient locations: Cedarhurst, Great Neck, and Woodbury.
For my good friends at East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roslyn. Whether you want to buy or lease the luxurious and practical Jeep Grand Cherokee or the sporty Jeep Wrangler, the car that legends are made of, you're certain to find the best deals anywhere, right here at East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roslyn. East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roslyn. Big selection, low...
49-36 over the Washington Bullets, trying to beat them twice in a week. 2:52 to go in the first half.
You know, it seems in years gone by, the Bullets were around a lot more than they will be this year. The Knicks will not play them until late March again. But I remember last year, they only played 5 games, and the Knicks won all 5, but it seemed like the Bullets were around a lot more last year than just 5 games.
Knicks have beaten Washington 10 straight times. Bullets haven't won here at the Garden since 1991. As Bud Mishkin showed us on Knicks game night, the night that Bernard King scored 49. The bench scoring tonight is amazing, favoring the Knicks. They're shooting 12 of 15 from the floor.
Sounds like 80% to me, Al. For 75.
Well, now that you've opened it up, you better figure it out. I want the division going on right now.
Good with math.
Calbert Cheney back in for the Bullets, and Charles Smith is on him. Oakley fronts Weber as Cheney attempted the alley-oop. Weber never even saw it. Nicely played by Charles Oakley. As Weber was thinking of going airborne, and Calbert Cheney was thinking along with him.
Double team right away on Ewing.
Poked away by Cheney. Smith the only nick back. And Calbert Cheney slams it for two on the pick. 51-38. And now pressure by the Bullets in the backcourt.
Bullets overcame a Knicks 16-point lead the other night late in the game to pull within 3.
Ewing has trouble getting the handle. Still scoreless, Patrick Ewing is in this first half. Oakley's shot is off. Weber almost threw it away. Calbert Cheney rolls one in.
All of a sudden, the Bullets are putting up an energy level that they haven't been presenting. Liner behind the back pass showing his skills. Knicks better match this energy level in the final minute and a half now.
Starks rejected by Chapman. Alley-oop for Weber. A little off on their timing. Skiles hits the three, and the Bullets' energy is showing on the scoreboard. It's suddenly an 8-point Knick lead, a 7-0 Washington run in the final moments of this first half. And Pat Riley has to try and slow the momentum down in this one. The timeout with 1:11 to go.
Next week is my 5th wedding anniversary. It's unbelievable how time flies.
Did you get her a present yet?
Yeah, I'm getting her a really nice washer and dryer.
Oh, come on. She'll never forgive you. You got to get her something for her.
It is for her.
No blondes and bikinis.
Get her jewelry.
No sales pitch from the chairman.
For vacation.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You think I should take her someplace special?
Definitely.
So maybe I'll take her to Cooperstown.
No.
Mrs. Humpty.
What is it, Earl?
Well, it's about Humpty.
Yes?
Ned and I have been thinking this through for a while, and it don't add up. Humpty was a pro. He'd never just lose his balance. We think Humpty was pushed.
Oh, no!
Knicks. More information, more solutions, more stuff.
What favorite things come with a Galant ES? Automatic transmission, air conditioning, and much more. And what do you pay for all this? Just $209 a month with $1,000 down. For a limited time, a great lease on a great Galant. From Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Don't miss the all-new holiday musical from the composer of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, A Christmas Carol at the Paramount now through January 1st, presented by Nobody Beats the Wiz. Tickets are on sale now at the Garden Box office and all Ticketmaster outlets.
John, I was there last night. I have to give it a big thumbs up. It's a dazzler.
I'll be right behind you, Al.
Of course, that meant I had to watch Knicks Rewind also, but I was there for it. Hubert Davis with 1 minute to go in the half. It'll be out of bounds off of Charles Smith. Bullet ball. They're on a 7-0 run here. Knicks led by as many as 15. It's now an 8-point Knick lead. Extra moment to dry off the ball, and Derek Harper is going to make Scott Skiles trip up the floor a little bit more complicated than it might normally be. Leans in.
Harper with the arm on Skiles. As long as that forearm is on him, it is not an infraction.
Weber spins, goes up, and draws the foul. You can tell, John, in practice and through the 5 games the Bullets have played with Chris Weber, they know the amazingly acrobatic things they can do. The number of times they just throw the ball up there waiting for him to suddenly appear and turn it into 2 points.
It sounds funny to say. He's only 6'10", which certainly doesn't physically distinguish him from many other big men in the league. but he's a big 6'10", whatever that means. In other words, he just seems to have long arms. He can get the ball. Against the Knicks on Tuesday night, he had a solid game and was very important in their run that almost resulted in the Bullets winning. You know, he's just a big guy and just can outreach people. He's quick to the ball, too. He's got a lot of interesting physical characteristics that set him apart.
Weber pounds his head as if to tell himself to concentrate. He hit his first 4 shots in this game, but now he's missed his last 5 and had that rough trip to the free throw line, and he's struggling all of a sudden, as are all the Bullets at the free throw line, 2 for 7. Knicks have been to the line 12 times and hit 10. Pat Riley likes that percentage. 31.6 seconds to go in the half. We'll get you up to date at the sports desk, and Bud Mishkin is making his MSG debut and anchoring things with Walt Clyde Frazier tonight. 7-second differential in the game at 24-second clock. Charles Smith rejected by Weber. It'll be goaltending.
Charles Smith's drives are getting prettier and prettier and much more effective as well. Big strides.
10-point difference as Derek Harper commits a foul in the backcourt. Second foul on Harper. So Scott Skiles will go to the free throw line. This is almost a lock for Skiles. He's a 90% free throw shooter. And, John, that's what you're talking about.
The last drive by Smith was a beauty. Talking about the hand checking, too. We see Harper trying to harass Skiles. The hand checking rule says you cannot stretch your hand out and put it on the opponent defensively. However, Harper now is getting it down now, so he's abiding by the rule. New interpretation is you can put your forearm on the opponent as he comes up court. That is not hand checking.
Which means you have to be closer to the man you're guarding and have the quickness to overcome that, and Derek Harper has it. Right?
Most of the time.
Right. Final ticks of the first half. Harper is rejected, and that'll do it. Well, the Knicks close it out, losing almost half of their one-time 15-point lead. The Bullets had a burst of intensity in the closing minutes of the second quarter. So here at the half, at the Garden, it is the Knicks 53, the Bullets 45. Back on MSG in a moment.
The New York Times, people think you like to read about economic embargoes and global warming, when in fact, a lot of our readers prefer to read about real estate.
I may be looking for a place on Pennsylvania Avenue.
The New York Times. Read what you like.
Maybe a big white house with pillars.
And remember, you're playing for Bud Light, ladies. The boys are back in town.
These guys are good.
Who are you calling guys? Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals. Ma'am, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
Both the new Chase Cash Builder Visa and the Discover card give you cash back. But only Cash Builder consistently gives you 1% back on purchases, 10% back on interest, is accepted at 11 million places, and has no annual fee. Once you've used Cash Builder, you'll see there's nothing left to discover. Call 1-800-AT-CHASE to apply. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience.
There are a lot of men's stores in New York where you can buy expensive clothes expensively. But in all New York, there's just one least expensive way to buy expensive men's clothes. Rothman's.
You know, I really hate it when my CD player dies before the disc finishes. So I use Energizer AA lithium batteries from Nobody Beats the Wiz. They just keep on going.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
What a difference a day makes for the Knicks at halftime last night.
This night, halftime looks a lot brighter for them with an 8-point lead. The Bullets with a late run in the second quarter to close it just a bit. Knicks with some strong bench scoring. We'll have that story, highlights, and Walt Frazier. But first, Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk with more highlights tonight.
All right, thanks very much, Bud. The New Jersey Nets have proven Chuck Daly a prophet, haven't they, so far? Chuck Daly got out while he was ahead. He knew it was a no-win situation in New Jersey. Now, tonight, the Nets are hosting the resurgent Kings at the Meadowlands and leading by a couple of points, 31-29, as they play in the second quarter of action. Kenny Anderson, one of their few legit team players on the floor and helping his team get an 18-12 lead. Great move inside by Armand Gilliam. A left-handed spin hook. And New Jersey had a 6-point lead. Then Bloomfield, New Jersey native Ala Abdulnabi misses his own shot, follows it up, beats the Nets to it, laid it up and in. But again, New Jersey leads at 31-29 against the Kings. They play the second quarter. Phoenix Suns are on the third leg of their longest road trip of the year, a 7-game marathon. They're in Detroit against Don Chaney and the Detroit Pistons. And right now, the Suns are trailing 62-52. Lindsey Hunter playing the point guard for the Pistons, and Chaney taking it down the lane and jamming it home. 13-10, the Pistons lead. Barkley then goes to work on the baseline, fending Oliver Miller off with the right arm, getting the bucket and the foul. Finally, off a Chris Mills miss, watch what happens. Grant Hill picks it up. And again, a 10-point lead of 62-52 for the Pistons. Orlando is the hottest team in the league. They have won 9 in a row. Tonight, they're in Atlanta, trailing 63-54 as the Hawks have gone from the penthouse to the outhouse. They're dead last in the Central Division. We'll be back in a moment from the MSG Sports Desk. Chapter 4 of the Felipe Lopez saga, St. John's and Niagara. That's next.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of road in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
Nowadays, you see more and more Alamo cars in America's business regions. From the Sun Belt to the Grain Belt to inside the Beltway. You see our Cadillacs on Wall Street and our convertibles in Tinseltown. No matter which belt, coast, or loop you travel to on business, you're in Alamo territory with more on-airport locations than ever, and all the miles free, including those in places where doing business isn't all business.
Some people hate to stop for gasoline. We do it for a living. Just going from one Sunoco station to another. Checking to make sure a gallon is a gallon, that the octane you pay for is the octane you get. So next time you have to get gasoline, think of us. We have to stop 1,183 times this year.
Now you too can own your own Sunoco tanker truck. In this convenient take-home size. Only $12.99 with fill-up.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Last great player to attend Niagara University, he created the same sensation that Felipe Lopez is creating at St. John's. Well, he is long retired, of course, Calvin Murphy from the NBA. St. John's has Felipe Lopez, although they didn't really need his help today. Niagara isn't recruiting the same kind of people that Calvin Murphy is. 89-56 was the final. Brian Mahoney had an easy night, or afternoon, I should say. Felipe had 14 off a steal, 12-7 St. John's early. Charles Minlin inside, not much resistance for him. 13.7 rebounds. They opened up a 23-9 lead on an 11-0 run in the first half. Rashawn McLeod led everybody with 15, and Zendon Hamilton had 14 as well. Johnny's led it by 14 at half, and Tariq Turner found Rowan Barrett for 2 of the many garbage points in this one. Fordham was out of its class at Manhattan this afternoon, 45-15. They trailed at halftime. They lose at 88-48. College football, Florida won the SEC championship 24-23 over Alabama. Army beat Navy 22-20. Back with the Knicks story in a moment.
For more money, you need Citibank's low-rate home.
Times change. But since the Wittenauer Long Life has a lithium iodine power source, you won't have to change it for 10,512,000 minutes.
Available at Marvin & Sons Jewelry with 3 convenient locations, Cedarhurst, Great Neck, and Woodbury.
It's non-stop around the clock. It's Ski Stop's 83-hour marathon. Set your alarm for 5 a.m., 2 p.m., or 2 a.m. Nobody beats Ski Stop's 83 hours of time-crunching savings. If you haven't been to America's Winter Warehouse in the last few days, you haven't seen millions of dollars in new inventory. Truckloads of new merchandise. Super specials around the clock. It's what to give, it's what to get, and it's all at the lowest prices guaranteed. Ski Stop's 83-hour marathon. You can't afford to miss it. It all ends Sunday, 8 p.m.
Welcome back to the Garden at halftime. The Knicks with an 8-point lead, some strong bench play. The Bullets with a late run to close it late in the second quarter, 53-45 at the half. Check of the leading scorers. The leading scorer summary is brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE. Smith and Mason both with 14 points apiece to lead the Knicks. As for the Bullets, some strong play tonight from Scott Skiles leading the Bullets with 13 points, Calbert Chaney with 10, and you see Weber with 8 and Rex Chapman with 6. Joined now at halftime by Walt Frazier. What a difference a day makes for the Knicks. Got to believe that they feel a little bit better about themselves right now at halftime than they did last night.
Well, that's true, but I think the second unit has played well. The first unit is still discombobulated. No moving and grooving by Ewing. And I think other than Anthony Mason, he's the only guy that really has an offensive force right now.
All right, let's head to the highlights now. The Knicks did come out well, in particular the bench play. Anthony Mason right here, 2 of his 14 points.
Yeah, nice transitional hoop by Mason between the legs and then scooping it to the basket. So the Knicks were thriving in transition.
Once again, a bit later on in the half with the second unit in, Greg Anthony inside to Mason.
So Mason 6'7", 250, just overwhelming it well with the fallback shot. So this tied his season high of 14 points for Anthony Mason.
Greg Anthony has had a lot of solid minutes off the bench so far this year.
Yeah, his perimeter shot has really improved, but also creates havoc on the defense. So this time coming out with a steal, so he'll be uncontested. Again, another hoop in transition by the Knicks.
The Bullets made a late run second quarter. Calbert Chaney, one of their better players, their young players.
Right here, he's very elusive. A good play beating Herb Williams off the dribble and then making the hoop as well. So they have to focus on Chaney. He was the guy that made a run late in the second quarter to get them back into the game.
All right, well, thanks. We'll see you on the radio. Knicks feeling a little bit better about themselves with an 8-point lead at halftime. We'll bring you back to John and Al for the second half right after this.
Now, Eureka bags so powerful they've earned the Corvette name. Corvette Hand Vac and Corvette Wet Dry. The next generation from Eureka.
Thousands of shoppers every year come back to the Carrot Shop. They love our quality, love our selection, and are thrilled with saving 50% or more.
There's no middleman. There's savings right there.
And they have the best selection in town.
I would love to find a diamond engagement ring under my tree. Diamond earrings for his mother and my mother. Ring for my husband.
Big, big diamond heart.
Necklace, bracelet, pendant.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
To believe it, the Men's Apparel Liquidation Center in Farmingdale. A better way to buy better menswear. Aisle after aisle, one great name after another at prices you won't believe. We sell only brand new first quality current season menswear. Suits, sport coats, slacks, outerwear, ties, belts, and more. If you can't find it here for less, they don't make it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody. Open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only for the smartest shoppers. 399 Smith Street, a block and a half east of Route 110.
It's non-stop around the clock. It's Ski Stop's 83-hour marathon. Set your alarm for 5 a.m., 2 p.m., or 2 a.m. Nobody beats Ski Stop's 83 hours of time-crunching savings. If you haven't been to America's Winter Warehouse in the last few days, you haven't seen millions of dollars in new inventory. Truckloads of new merchandise. Super specials around the clock. It's what to give, it's what to get, and it's all at the lowest prices guaranteed. Ski Stop's 83-hour marathon. You can't afford to miss it. It all ends Sunday, 8 p.m.
If you're shopping around for a new car, it makes perfect sense to visit the one dealership that displays the most popular brands. Hi, I'm Bob Neister for all my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep in Roslyn. Whether you want to buy or lease a brand new Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, or Eagle, you're sure to find what you're looking for when you visit East Hills Chrysler Jeep. It's the one place you'll find a complete inventory without disappointment. And when it comes to price, you'll find my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep very, very customer friendly.
We deliver
delivers smart solutions for you. And by MetLife. Get Met. It pays.
Welcome back to the Garden. The Knicks with an 8-point lead at halftime against the Bullets. The first half statistics with Alan John.
All right, Bud, welcome. John, I feel bad for Bud. He's completely unaware of the first night MSG tradition of the shaving cream pie in the face on the post-game show. He's just totally unaware of that. Knicks doing it from the floor, aren't they?
A lot different from last night. The Knicks shooting the ball totally in different form than they did last evening against Orlando. Their foul shooting is good tonight, and they're out shooting and getting more opportunities. And the points in the paint, a very big number, as the Knicks have been driving the ball inside to great success. And the bench play is just outstanding. Anthony Mason leading the way with a 5 out of 5 from the field in 12 minutes of playing time. A Toyota matchup. Respective forwards for both teams. Charles Smith with a 10-point first quarter, 4 in the second. Solid first half for Charles. Don McClain, a 16-point-a-game scorer, not getting it done. He's under a lot of pressure as the Knicks have committed themselves also to their basic form of play, which has gotten them where they are, and that is defense. And they're doing a much better job in the defensive area.
Smith and Mason with 14 points apiece. And, John, I'm going to label that first half weird. I mean, we are sitting on a game in which Hubert Davis gets the start in the second half. In the first half, John Starks played 12 minutes, took only 3 shots, made 1. But the really weird one is Patrick Ewing, 16 minutes with only 2 shots in which he did not make either one and did not score. Chris Webber, the fall away is off, and ferociously Charles Smith grabs the rebound. So Pat Riley making a move here, whether there's something wrong with John Starks or he's just going with some sort of a gut inkling, we will attempt to find out. Well, John Starks looks ready. He's got the uniform still on.
We could look at it from a couple of different ways, Al, but the first thing that occurs to me is that perhaps Pat Riley is taking a little pressure off John Starks, not asking him to carry the team offensively, not sitting him totally. He did play 12 minutes. And it's worked out well so far as the ball has been shared by other members of the team, and the Knicks are playing solid. They've shaken the cobwebs off their game from last evening. And let John Starks watch a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that over the last few years with the Yankees when hitters are in slumps, you know. Pull a guy in a little bit. Don't expect him to carry the load. Let him rest and look at things for a while, and not necessarily be out there trying to carry the team and solve all the offensive problems himself.
Patrick Ewing still hasn't scored. You know, John, I talked to you about this before the game. I believe this streak of John Starks, he's shooting 27% his last 6 games. I think it goes back to Game 7. He went an entire summer of hearing 2 for 18, 2 for 18, 2 for 18, and I am sure that he is pressing to prove that that was so much of an aberration that he's just thinking too much.
Well, Al, he has never been established as a great shooter. He's a streak shooter. He's an outstanding scorer. I think back now to when the Knicks were out in Utah and he pumped in 35 a couple of weeks ago. I mean, he has had earlier this season games when he has shot the ball well. He's been rewarded with a contract. He has every reason to be confident, feel support of Pat Riley. So I don't know if that's it. I don't know if I would go along with that, but obviously something's wrong. He's just not shooting well enough. But Chapman also is a 40% shooter, and he's the leading scorer on the Bullets.
Skiles way off. Patrick Ewing, meanwhile, hit his first field goal of the game. Oakley goes down, but not before he finds Hubert Davis. Knicks have the lead back up to 13 points. It's a 20-second timeout. A rough start in this third quarter for Jimmy Lynam's Bullets.
Knicks are getting a lot done with motion out here tonight, pushing the ball up court, getting the Bullets in their defensive transition before they can set it up, and they're hitting their shots. We were talking out during the broadcast last night in Orlando about how the Knicks didn't have a perimeter game last night whatsoever. Tonight they do. They're hitting their shots, and with a half when they shot 55% tonight, it just makes the game so much simpler, easier for this man when his team is shooting the ball that well.
Jimmy Lynam's drawing out a play. He wants to get his team on the scoreboard here in the second half. It's been all Knicks as they score the first 5. The Bullets misfiring 3 times. Lynam's a good guy, a fun guy to talk about his team with.
Yes, he's a very approachable coach. And many coaches tend to make the game very, very complex. Jim seems more of a realist and seems to simplify things.
Skiles almost lost Derek Harper. Tough pass attempted. Saved by Weber. It goes with a foul. And Chris Weber is amongst the media.
And he can't get up. He's kind of floated down. You know, he fell very gently along with Charles Oakley. Take another look at the play now. Weber going up for the shot. Oakley bumped into him, and they kind of just fell gently into the crowd. This is a Perry Ellis look at 2 power forwards sharing the evening with the media.
John, I think there may have been some popcorn under that table. He was down there for a while. It is 58-48. 10 points again. Patrick Ewing almost walked. Charles Smith creates some space. Davis, who starts the second half in place of Starks, gets in trouble. Saved by Oakley. 4 on the 24-second clock. Smith. Well off, and the 24-second clock expires.
Charles claiming he was hit on the forearm.
The shot did not hit the rim, so the clock is allowed to continue and buzz off. I wasn't talking to you, John.
Thanks, Al.
Skiles from about 27 feet hits the 3.
Skiles has a history of being an excellent long-range shooter, and I'm surprised that he doesn't take more of them. He's only taken 44 3-point shots now in 13 games.
Oakley hits from just inside the 3-point line. It's been a game of streaks. A streak for the Knicks to take a big lead. Bullets come back. Knicks rebound. The Bullets with a run. Chapman. He's 3 for 8 from the floor. Harper didn't see as much room as he wanted inside. Now Ewing lost the handle. Smith throws it out of bounds. Patrick Ewing just not doing a lot of posting up, demanding the ball, and when he gets the ball, he doesn't seem comfortable.
As I said, it's doubly surprising because on many occasions he has eaten up Kevin Duckworth in his low post position.
They clear it out for Weber to work on Oakley.
That's skill. That is skill.
Some of his shots have such a graceful arc to them. Others are a little bit more line drive. That one was a smack off the glass. He's very adaptable depending on the situation. Ewing tried the follow slam. Now Smith gets it for the foul. It's a Charles Smith night here at the Garden.
Ewing holding his back after this play. Charles Smith getting the lead pass. Everybody converges on him. Ewing can't get the tip in. The ball comes back into Charles's hands. And he certainly knew what to do with it despite Don McLean's reaction.
The 4th foul by Chris Weber. And Howie Singer, our producer, searching his memory banks, does not recall ever seeing Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing come together with a chest bump. We just saw it.
Precious moment.
Bullets lose it out of bounds. Scott Skiles. The Bullets, who were plagued by turnovers in the first half, give one away there. Jimmy Lynam is letting one of the officials hear it with a smile. Knicks by 10. Derek Harper. He's been getting that sort of penetration since the beginning of the game.
Kevin Duckworth, where are you in a move like that? He should have been all over Derek Harper, slapping that shot down.
You see Duckworth way outside, trying to prevent Patrick Ewing from going in. Weber steps on the end line. uses Ewing's screen. Davis trying to elude Chapman. It's Smith. Almost an air ball. Grabbed by Weber. Chapman for three. All net. 9 points for Rex Chapman. Skiles with 16. Weber with 13. It's the top trio for Washington. Hubert Davis. Weber up for a big rebound.
Whole thing changes when the shots aren't falling.
McLean almost had it. Davis throws it away. Rex Chapman brings it around for Washington.
So anxious to ignite a break.
Skiles draws the foul. A wild shot attempt, but Derek Harper will be whistled for it. 6:35 to go. Knicks up 9. Back in a moment.
Dear Diary, today it's sunny and noisy.
Iggy, you see what I see? We're safe!
Hey, what are you looking at?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
This holiday season, while you're shopping, we'll be dropping a ton of money in the Discover Card Big Payback. Now, every time you use your card, you're automatically entered in our holiday sweepstakes. The more you shop, the more chances you have to win. Weekly bonus prizes of $50,000 or land the ultimate $1 million grand prize. It pays to discover. The card with the big payback.
One night, I bet him $5 that I could make 5 jumpers in a row. And I would make 3, miss 2, 4, miss 1. So I bet him $45 that I could dunk 30 times backwards. Then I dunked 30 times. 15 at one end, 15 at the other end. And after I got my money, I gave him 6 more. I gave him his money's worth.
Time for some AT&T long-distance shooting information. Scott Skiles, one of the NBA's outstanding three-point shooters, gets into the action tonight. That has the look of the longer version of the three-point shot prior to this season. This year, it's a 22-foot arc all around. It used to be 23 foot 9 inches way out in front of the basket at the top of the circle. Bullets tonight, 5 out of 13. Knicks only 1 for 4.
Sticking to the local calls. 6:35 to go. And Scott Skiles will step to the line. It was Derek Harper's foul just before the break, and the third foul by Derek Harper. The Bullets were just given a delay of game warning. Did not see the infraction. Highest free throw percentage coming into this season. Scott Skiles behind some great names. Mark Price, Rick Barry underhanded. Calvin Murphy with the long streak. He made the free throw, and Charles Oakley is out high, guarded by Weber. Smith playing a fabulous game. 21 points now for 19 points for Charles Smith. The Knicks lead is 9. It has been as high as 15. That was back in the first half. Rex Chapman way out. But when he and Skiles get the feeling, they don't care where they are. That'll be a kick, Knick ball. And with the kick, the Knicks get a fresh 24-second clock.
There was a delay of game warning a minute or so ago based on Washington coming out of the timeout huddle too slowly.
Yes, it's all working for Charles Smith. Oakley goes up, the alley-oop connects, but what about his wrist? Did he hurt it on the slam? Well, he's not holding it anymore, he's just wiggling a little bit.
That's the kind of play that shows you why his teammates love him, and I'm referring to Charles Oakley, who saw Smith in that situation where the defense had it back to the passer.
Now 21 points for Smith. And again, the Knicks come up the floor with very little interest in getting Patrick Ewing the ball. He's not posting up. He's not even looking to get in a post-up situation. Way away from the ball. 3 on the 24-second clock. Harper. It just falls away. And Charles Oakley draws a foul. Third foul committed by Kevin Duckworth. Calvert Chaney checks in for the Bullets.
Now, what the Knicks apparently coaching staff has recognized, as they certainly do, is that Charles Smith's had a fine early season, and last night he was not involved at all in the offense. So they're building their inner game, their inside game, around Charles tonight. They're going to him primarily with Patrick Ewing playing the secondary role, and Charles is coming through. A couple of minutes ago, however, Charles Oakley saw Charles Smith being guarded by Don McLean. McLean had his back to Oakley, and Oakley knew that and knew he couldn't interfere with this pass.
The free throws by Oakley make it 71-60. Oakley with 6 points and 7 rebounds. Chapman hits the 3. That's 2 in the last minute and a half or so for Rex Chapman. Into double figures now with 12. They post up Smith again. He takes Calvert Chaney, gets the follow, gets the bounce, and 2.
Boy, that shows you the confidence that he's playing with. He rolled it in with the left hand.
And he gets a little pat on the back from Patrick Ewing. Still moving that wrist. The left wrist of Charles Smith. I think he may have bruised it on that alley-oop dunk a moment ago. Knicks by 10. Duckworth backs in on Ewing. Oh, they really bang hard. Now Duckworth shoves Smith out of the way. John Starks returns his first minutes of the second half. He did not start. Hubert Davis got the nod. Charles Oakley is out. Anthony Mason returns. Davis leaves with 7 points. Oakley leaves with the 6.7 rebounds that I told you about a moment ago. So it's Skiles on Harper. Juwan Howard has checked in for the Washington Bullets. We've seen very little of him tonight. Derek Harper for 3. Calvert Chaney for Rex Chapman.
Weber handles the ball with such confidence. Chaney made 4 out of 5 threes last night, but he can't find it tonight.
Harper behind his back, stopped by Skiles. Still a 10-point Knick lead. Again, Ewing is out by the 3-point line, and they post up Smith. That leaves Mason up, under, and in.
How about that extra spin he put on the ball instinctively?
16 points for Anthony Mason. He and Charles Smith are doing it for New York tonight. Weber with Ewing on him. Goes right at him. And Ewing grabs the miss. Harper cuts around Skiles with the foul.
Oh, man. Was that beautiful. What a play by Harper. Such determination. And his ability to adjust to what presents itself is demonstrated by the left hand. He's a right-handed shooter. There's a Perry Ellis look now at Harper. Going to the left hand, his off shooting hand. No problem for Derek.
Well, music to Charles Smith's ears. A standing ovation as he leaves with 3:14 to go in the third. And we talked about a few minutes ago the three-point shooting by Washington and how the Knicks have not been going to the three-point line, and it's just the interior defense of Washington has been soft all game. Chaney, he gets the roll and the foul.
Chris Weber with a lot of enthusiasm for his teammate, running over, picking him up, patting him on the back. Another look now. Chaney inside, taking the blow. At 6'7", Chaney is a strong guy. He plays the guard position, small forward position, and he's a big-time scorer potentially.
He completes the three-point play. 13 points off the bench for Calvert Chaney, the only bench player for Washington to score.
One of the public reasons that Chris Webber was very unhappy playing for Don Nelson is that Nelson wanted him to play the center position. Strong disagreement from Webber in that department. And isn't it ironic that Webber is playing a lot of center these days for the Bullets?
But the acquisition of Ronnie Cycli didn't even change his mind on that. Back in a moment.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York!
It's the Knicks versus the 76ers, Monday at 7 after Sports Desk and Game Night on MSG.
All Furniture Outlet, WFO.
We're the place where people come to beautify their homes. We've got furniture for every wall, a style for your own.
All Furniture Outlet, WFO. All Furniture Outlet, WFO.
Strike looms, but the news isn't all bad for cable TV sports fans. During this summer's baseball strike, Cablevision refunded more than $1 million to MSG and Sports Channel customers, and if a hockey strike results in rebates, we'll pass those savings along too. If you signed up for MSG or Sports Channel on or after March 15th and you cancel your service, you may get your installation fee back. Or drop MSG and Sports Channel and add them back before the end of the year at no charge. Or check out what else is on Sports Channel and MSG.
You've got to see it to believe it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center in Farmingdale. A better way to buy better menswear. Aisle after aisle. One great name after another at prices you won't believe. We sell only brand new first quality current season menswear. Suits, sport coats, slacks, outerwear, ties, belts, and more. If you can't find it here for less, they don't make it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Now open Thursday through Monday till Christmas for all your holiday shopping.
399 Smith Street, a block and a half east of Route 110.
Chris Webber, the 6'10 sophomore for the Washington Bullets, started his career with the Golden State Warriors, and he is now in a very distinct company of a Rookie of the Year, which he was last year, being traded the following season. There were only two other people, Adrian Dantley and the late Ray Felix. 1953-54, traded from the Baltimore Bullets to the New York Knicks.
We have 2:34 to go in this third quarter. Calbert Cheney spinning and working on Anthony Bonner. Mason's got it across midcourt, and he traveled.
That's rare. All the times he handles the ball, he usually succeeds in distributing it properly and making solid plays. It's rare to see him commit that infraction.
It is Scott Skiles guarded by Derek Harper, and Derek's giving Scott a little trash talking as they come up the floor, and he's good at it. Starks guarding Rex Chapman, Mason on Juwan Howard. Howard didn't have the touch. Now the Knicks throw it away. Strange game for Patrick Ewing. 1 for 4 from the floor. He leaves with 3 points. And Herb Williams checks in.
You know, the funny part of it is, Al, there'll be a big reaction to that, certainly publicly, about Patrick not scoring and Charles Smith being the big man. But I thought Ewing was pretty tough on the boards. He looked very alert. He looked like he was fine physically. 10 rebounds for Patrick in the game. And I think it's great for the team not to have to live off Patrick, particularly as time goes along.
It just seems strange to me, though, John, that they've gone so far in the other direction.
Yeah,
sure, it's fine to get Charles Smith involved, and you want to rely on him, but to completely have a situation where Patrick Ewing isn't part of the offense at all screams out that something's going on.
Well, the matchup also that was on Smith invariably was a smaller man, and it has favored the Knicks going to him.
Again, Harper is able to get it to the hoop. John Starks hits the three. The first time we've heard from John Starks in a while. He's got 5. First points of the second half for John Starks.
It's also important now for Starks and Ewing, respectively, as we see Webber with a bullet pass to his former college teammate, Juwan Howard. It's important for them to know that their teammates are highly capable offensively as well. That they don't have to carry the load. They're not expected to do all the scoring. And this is a great game to loosen this team up in that direction.
Well, the Knicks with what they're doing tonight in terms of a philosophy, have a 11-point lead over the Bullets as Rex Chapman hits the floater. Final minute of the third quarter. Mason spins away from Juwan Howard and just missed the layup. Chapman loft one for Weber.
Weber sees the court so well, sees his teammates.
Anthony pokes it away. He's got Starks behind him. Blew the layup. Starks follows it up. Greg Anthony screaming out for the foul, but it wasn't called. Weber. Chaney for three. Mason is there.
Nice box out by Mason.
Bonner. Oh, the reverse! He can be so exciting on the break, and that was a good look by Mason. The Knicks could have played for one shot, but he saw the opening, and it's a 15-point lead. Skiles. And that is an end to the third quarter. It's deserving of a chest bump. Exciting plays always are on the Knicks.
Bonner flying down court after Mason led him, and a reverse slam put the stamp on the third quarter.
Everybody limbo!
The more you shop, the more chances you have to win. Weekly bonus prizes of $50,000 or land the ultimate $1 million grand prize. It pays to discover. The card with the big payback.
Okay, the shot's set, everyone's smiling, and then no flash. Next time, use Energizer batteries that nobody beats the Wiz. They just keep on going.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the 1995 Mitsubishi Galant, filled with your favorite things.
Earlier in the third quarter, we had what looked like the play of the night. We'll take a Perry Ellis look at the Knicks fast break ignited by Patrick Ewing. He had a little too much on it. Lo and behold, the ball went into the hands of our game host tonight, Bud Mishkin. Mike Kay looking for a pass to no avail.
Bud a little selfish there, I thought, John.
John Starks with plenty of time, and a nice setup by Derek Harper for a three-point shot. With every three-point shot John Starks makes this season, Minolta will donate, Al, $100 to the John Starks Foundation.
John Starks goes to the layup, successfully done. We're just underway in the fourth quarter. In that third quarter, the Knicks were firing with great success. The Bullets were not. That's why we begin this fourth quarter with the Knicks up 15 and with the Starks deuce 17.
First half, the Knicks shot 55%.
Doug Overton in at the point now for Washington in place of Scott Skiles. That 17-point lead was the largest of the game for the Knicks. Mason's pass is picked off. Bonner tries to keep it. Starks tries to keep it. Anthony tries to save it. Finally, it's Nick Ball.
Jim Ryan, the Washington coach. Bonner! Looks like he wanted to walk into the stands or walk out of the place as he walks up and down the sidelines after that sequence.
Bonner was rejected. Overton guarded by Anthony. Now Chaney. Calvert Chaney is thinking shoot, shoot, shoot when he gets the ball. And he's got 17 points, 7 of 13 off the Bullet bench. Starks flips it out for Anthony. Tough pass. And we've got another one of those who's going to grab it situations. It's Chaney again. Kept alive by Juwan Howard. And it'll be a jump ball. The rookie Howard went up and was met by a trio of Knicks. So he'll jump it up with Anthony Bonner.
Bonner's been terrific tonight in only his second game.
Mason is there. So the Knicks have an 87-74 lead, and you know one thing Pat Riley is going to want to see is intensity to the end. Don't make this a 4 or 5 point game.
As they did in Washington on Tuesday when the Knicks had a similar lead late in the game.
John Starks was hit. Anthony Tucker just checks into the game for Washington and gets the foul call. Tucker's first minutes of the game.
He's only played 38 minutes this season.
10 Knicks have played, and all 10 Knicks have scored. Again, it's been Charles Smith and Anthony Mason doing the scoring job for the Knicks. Juwan Howard goes high for the rebound. Just under 10 minutes to go in the game here at the Garden. Chaney and Starks mix it up. Starks tried to throw Chaney aside and got whistled for it.
Chaney at 6'7" now is doing what a lot of people have been doing to John Starks lately, and that is posting him up down low. John tried to push his way out of that problem.
Overton looking for Chaney, spinning away from Starks. And an exclamation point.
Well, that's the same move that Nick Anderson of the Orlando Magic executed on John last evening.
Anthony gets it to Mason. Mason almost stopped by Kevin Duckworth, but the strength of Mason prevailed. Overton needs a lot of resistance. Herb Williams with the rebound. Knicks push it. Herb Williams, very soft touch. And it's a 15-point Knick lead and a timeout for the Bullets. 8:46 to go. Back in a moment.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
Places and has no annual fee. Once you've used Cash Builder, you'll see there's nothing left to discover. Call 1-800-AT-CHASE to apply. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience.
Christmas is a magical time when memories are made, and you won't miss a single moment the camera movies is. Like beats the whiz.
Well, John, you were trying to show off your math skills before. What's 64 for 125? It took too long. It's 51%, and that's what Charles Smith shot in the season's opening month. That's Dan McConnell, the National Account Sales Manager for Sharp, making the Sharpshooter of the Month presentation to Charles. Sharp donates a color TV and VCR equipment to the Charles Smith Foundation in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in Charles Smith's honor for a great shooting month.
51.2, Al.
You did have it. 8.5 to go. Knicks up by 15 points after the Bullet timeout. And that is Anthony Tucker making his first impact on the game.
Knicks have to be ready for this energetic spurt now that the Bullets are going to put forth. There's plenty of time left.
What is strange is that Jimmy Lynam wants a spurt, and so few of the starters are on the floor.
Well, that's what happened in Washington the other night. The bench players for the Bullets are the ones that dragged this team into a 3-point difference in the closing minute of the game.
Foul was called on Tucker. It is Doug Overton with Kevin Duckworth, Anthony Tucker, Calvert Chaney, and that's John Starks hitting from long range. It's a couple that John has hit from way out. You got to feel great. He worked extra hard before the game with Jeff Van Gundy, shot after shot after shot, and John in this game is 5 for 7 in the game. And you know, Jeff has got to be thinking those extra shots, the repetition, they're paying off. Starks has 11.
There is some discipline also to John's approach tonight. He's waiting for the ball to come to him.
Duckworth gets it to go.
Well, that's a tremendous move by 7-foot Duckworth.
And you know, now that he's lost the weight that he has, and we talked with him in the preseason about the rededication to his game, he can make that move a lot more easily than he could last season. Bonner. Bullets are running. Overton. By Anthony. I mean, Overton was coming at Greg Anthony full speed.
4-on-1. Why do that? 4-on-1.
Anthony went for the alley-oop at Anthony Bonner, and it winds up to be a turnover.
Should have been a layup for the Knicks.
Tucker. Well, Anthony Tucker suddenly involved for Washington. And the Knicks lead is 11, as much as 17 just a few minutes ago. They clear it out for Mason. That leaves Bonner, and now Starks open. 6 on the 24-second clock. It's Herb Williams. Well, Herb's had a very effective game. 3 shots, 3 made, 7 points. And again, the Knick bench, a big part of the story of this game so far. 18 for Mason, 7 for Williams, 7 for Davis, 6 for Bonner, 4 for Greg Anthony. Juwan Howard scores. That is the first Bullet player off the bench to score in a while, except actually Anthony Tucker with a couple of hoops in the last minute.
Weber getting ready to come back in. His team is doing pretty well without him, but he must get back in. Big time move by Anthony Bonner.
Just beautiful.
Bonner with a quick adjustment as he loses his defender. Great finish by Bonner.
Well, Patrick has not been very much involved in this game except in the rebounding, but he's enjoying a light moment with Doc Rivers, who has not seen any minutes in this game, and Hubert Davis.
Patrick enjoys winning, and you know he's having the pleasure of seeing his teammates do a terrific job. He'll have plenty of work ahead of him on Monday in Philadelphia, and Tuesday back here against the Boston Celtics.
Knicks have it back up to a 14-point difference. Overton, good fake. Whips it in for Tucker. He's wide open. Followed by Juwan Howard. A well-timed tip. And Howard has 4 points.
It wasn't even an attempt at a box out on that play by the Knicks defenders.
The Knicks try to clear it out for Anthony Bonner. But the swarming Bullet defense prevents that. Now here's Herb Williams. That'll be an offensive foul as he charges into Calvert Chaney.
That was insulting to Herb. You know, I mean, that's a look like, oh, how wrong can an official be?
You're amazing at your analysis of those looks. They're perfect.
That's what I seek, Al, perfection.
That's right.
Although, as John Wooden said today on NBC, I don't know if you saw that halftime interview with Dick Enberg between the college games. It was a very moving interview. You know, the John Wooden tournament was going on the West Coast, and they honored him at halftime, and Enberg did a long interview with him about his career and how he thinks and what drives him, and is he you know, Dick probed into him. Does he drive into did he achieve what he wanted to achieve, and could he have done a better job? And boy, that opened the door for John Wooden to say, yes, I could have done a better job. There was no such thing as perfection, you know, and he went into a whole thing of tremendous humility combined with his drive made him a very special man.
I think the word that describes him is elegant. Don McClain knows about the legend of John Wooden having played in Paulie Pavilion with UCLA. 4:40 to go. Anthony Bonner, big impact in tonight's game at the Garden. It's a foot race. Tucker It's saved, but it's all Knicks there. 4 Knicks back and no one else from Washington. Bonner doubles it for Herb Williams. Draws a double team. Looks for Bonner, and he's got it. Well, you've got to love what we've seen from Charles Smith if you're a Knicks fan, and Anthony Bonner too. Anthony Mason. Bonner now is in double figures with 11 points. Mason's had a season high at 18. Herb Williams again. He's got the touch. Chris Webber. Juwan Howard gets away from Herb Williams, but then gets rejected by him. And Bonner's running in traffic. Explosive, great layoff for Anthony Mason. And he gets fouled on the drive.
That was a sensational pass by Bonner.
Rex Chapman returns.
Bonner coming down court, checking out people around him. Without a glance, he knew, he saw Anthony Mason and gave him a terrific bounce pass.
John, we've been handed a note. They've done some compiling. Patrick Ewing came into tonight's game with a streak of 84 consecutive regular season games with double-figure scoring. The last 73 of last season and the first 11 of this season. On the bench he sits with 3. This then would be the only 20th time that Patrick Ewing in his NBA career had been held to single digits in scoring. Be interesting to hear Pat Riley address that situation in his post-game press conference, which we'll have for you on our post-game report.
Interesting part about it, Al, is it's not a problem for the Knicks tonight.
No, it isn't. 103 to 87, and a timeout here in Midtown.
The Knicks are back, and so is Mike Francesa, along with Kathleen Murphy and some of the biggest stars in sports and showbiz, on Live from the Play-by-Play right here on MSG.
Save me! Save me! Save me! I'm being held here at Franklin Square Ford, and you can save me and dozens of other Benjamin Franklins when you buy any new Ford, a new conversion van, or a quality pre-owned car at Franklin Square Ford. Don't let them keep me here another minute when you can put me in your pocket and have a new Ford in your driveway too. Franklin Square Ford, 690 Hempstead Turnpike, Franklin Square.
Marsh's presents explosive holiday savings on every Ferragamo and Bruno Magli shoe in our stock. For 4 days only, Marsh's is offering 2 of the finest names in men's shoes at 50% savings. 2 of the world's top designers, Ferragamo and Bruno Magli, 50% off at Marsh's. 4 days only. This is the one sale you can't afford to miss. Friday, December 2nd through Monday, December 5th. Rush into Marsh's and take advantage of these explosive 50% savings on every Ferragamo and Bruno Magli shoe in our stock. Hurry before time runs out.
Number 1 station for Knickerbocker games, there's one place to be. It's the New York Knicks on MSG. MSG, yeah, we got it going on. With Oakley and Ewan playing all season long, and the rest of the crew on the station that kicks. It's MSG and the New York Knicks. Say, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York!
It's the Knicks versus the 76ers, Monday at 7 after Sports Desk and Game Night on MSG.
Tonight at 10:30 p.m. and tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. You can join host Al Trautwig, that's me sitting next to me, and Dave Jennings as they bring you player interviews, game footage, and an in-depth look at upcoming opponents on Jets Journal right here on the MSG Network. And according to Al, I have it firsthand that tomorrow and tonight you'll see a terrific, outstanding, one of the better Jets Journal shows.
Dave Jennings with an exemplary performance. Battle for the loose ball. And Anthony Tucker with his 3rd hoop off the bench, and Jimmy Lynam sticking with him in this 4th quarter. It is Chris Webber with his Old Fab Five teammate Juwan Howard. Anthony Tucker, Scott Skiles, and Rex Chapman. And Chapman comes up with the steal from Greg Anthony and his pass. 2:20 to go. The Knicks are up 103 to 89. Weber drops it in. So Chris Weber now has 18 points on 8 of 17 shooting. He started out 4 for 4. Cooled off a bit. The Bullets are swarming now. The Knicks comfortably in front. Mason increases his season best by 2 more. 21 points for Anthony Mason. Knicks up now by 14 points. It is not going to be a repeat of what happened Tuesday.
Or a 2-game winning streak for the Bullets. Incidentally, talking to Jim Lynam before the game, Al, as we see Scott Skiles used the backboard to its fullest. I mean, that layup went off the top of the backboard and in. He was telling me about Detroit's Grant Hill, who they played last night. He was drooling. He couldn't believe how this guy wasn't the #1 pick of the NBA draft last summer. Grant Hill continues to paralyze his opponents with his great play. We're very anxious to see him as a member of the Pistons.
Mason there battling Skiles, and they're both pretty feisty, and Skiles wraps his arms around him.
Mason smiling while it was going on.
Skiles isn't. Skiles is called for the bear hug infraction.
Skiles, a very physical player, responding to the straight arm with his own physical response.
What was that? What was that?
It's competition. That's what it is. You can't do that to me without it getting violent. That's what it was. That was a non-violent fight, Al.
Anthony Mason will get free throws out of that. Mason's at the line with 21 points and 6 rebounds. He was 5 of 7 from the line, so now 5 of 8, but he is 8 of 9 from the floor. Mason now with 22 points. Charles Smith has gotten a extended rest from Pat Riley. He did his thing for 23 points and 4 rebounds. He was superb. Chapman. The Bullets are 6 of 22. 6 of 22 from the 3-point line in tonight's game. They gambled and they lost. Jim McIlvaine in, Doug Overton in, Scott Skiles goes, Chris Weber 2 with 57.3 seconds to go.
And you mentioned Mason scoring 22 tonight. His season high prior to this evening was 14 points against the Lakers here on November 8th.
Howard is short. And with this one just about wrapped up, you have to congratulate the New York Knicks for just shaking off what was a humiliation last night against a team that you know they're going to have to beat before this season is over, the Orlando Magic. They've shaken it off. They got their act together, and without Patrick Ewing making much of a contribution offensively, they beat the Bullets rather easily.
The Bullets team, as Greg Anthony hits a 3. It came in after ending a 6-game losing streak last night, so you know they were feeling very good about themselves.
And still, with only seconds left, they're battling for loose balls on the floor. Yeah, Herb enjoys getting down there to go for it. And a timeout on the floor with 30 seconds to go. Allows us to pause one more time on MSG. 111.93 Knicks.
Then I bring it back out because I want to embarrass him. I want to shake him and fake him. And I'm looking in his face saying, what you want me to do, make a layup, make a...
Smith. Charles very considered after he made that basket. He hung in the air for a while, hung on the rim, and then he came down.
Yes, Charles Smith, 23 points, 9 of 14 shooting, 4 rebounds. Exciting to watch, and the confidence of his drives to the basket are just growing and growing. He's very solid, very graceful tonight in the game. Doug Overton with the banker, 111.95. The Knicks will push their record to 8-5. Having come in losing 5 of 9, they can now say they've won 2 of 3. The Bullets will fall to 5-8 and be 1-5 since the trade for Chris Webber and the signing of Juwan Howard. Another sellout at the Garden watches the Knicks win 111-95. With Patrick Ewing taking only 4 shots and scoring 3 points, it was Charles Smith and Anthony Mason with 23 and 22 points respectively. After that, double digits all over the board. 10 for Derek Harper, 11 for John Starks, 11 for Anthony Bonner. But we'll talk about it all as we bring you back for our post-game coverage on MSG in a moment.
On a night when Patrick Ewing scores but 3 points, many contributors for the Knicks, and life in Knicks land is a lot happier than it was 24 hours ago. 111-95, the final over the Bullets. For the rest of the night around the NBA, let's head now to Mike Crispino at the MSG Sports Desk.
Thanks very much, Bud. It used to be that the Sacramento Kings were just tomato cans to be kicked around by the home teams around the NBA. Well, this year they've won 2 of 6 so far, and that for them is a monumental achievement. Tonight they are leading the New Jersey Nets 73-71 as they play in the third quarter at the Meadowlands. The Phoenix Suns story now. Paul Westphal shook up the Suns lineup last night, leaving Barkley and Manning out of it. They came in and saved the day as they won in Boston. And no such shenanigans tonight. Barkley started, so did Manning, but they are trailing 96-83 in Detroit with about 6 minutes remaining to be played in that game. Orlando putting its league-high 9-game winning streak on the line in Atlanta against a Hawks team which had sunk to the depths so far this year. A record of 5-9. The Hawks have come back. They are within 2 points with about a minute left to play in the Omni. Around the NBA, some other scores to report now. Philadelphia and Cleveland are tied at 72 as they play in the fourth quarter at Cleveland. Boston trails by 12 at halftime at Chicago. Both teams dead mediocre at 7-7. Utah a 10-point lead over Dallas. Jimmy Jackson has 17 points already, almost half of the Mavericks' entire offense. Charlotte is leading Denver 30-24. That's in the second quarter. The Nuggets have lost 5 of 6, and the Bucks are in Seattle. That game's set to start in about 14 minutes. Indiana and Golden State also out west. They'll play later tonight. The Pacers concluding their 4-game road trip in Oakland. The Warriors routed at Indiana last month by 27 points when Rick Smits scored 28 in that game. And the Clippers, 3 losses away from tying an NBA record to open a season at 0-17, which was set by Miami in 1988, are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in the Los Angeles Arena. We'll be back with the Knicks post-game report, commentary, analysis from the Garden floor after these words.
Other apparel companies pay athletes.
The injury, 11 points and 5 rebounds. He looked healthy. Healthy is a good thing. How do you feel, first of all?
I feel great, you know what I mean? I think it's very unfortunate that I went down with an injury, but in one regard it was good because it gave me a little time to heal some of the nicking, nagging injuries that I had, and it refreshed me mentally.
Is there a way to describe emotionally what the team was thinking after last night?
I think we were devastated. More than anything else, this is an organization that prides itself on having great pride, professional, hard-working players. And last night, I think we let a young team who's definitely talented and on the way up come out and embarrass us. So we're on the road to trying to recover from that, and hopefully it'll be a quick recovery.
Were players still talking about it before tonight's game?
Oh, definitely. And I mean, we're going to continue to talk about it, hopefully, because it's a lesson that we don't want to have to be taught again, because it should never happen to us. We're used to being on the giving end of that, not the receiving end, and hopefully we can get back to our top form to where we're playing that type of basketball.
There were sequences tonight where not just the Knicks bench was contributing, but Patrick Ewing was on the floor, but he wasn't the main focus of the offense. Was that even a bit strange for the players to see?
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes you're going to have nights like that where the big fella, everybody knows he's our main gun, he's our go-to guy, he's our leader. But sometimes he's not going to be into it offensively. And you have other guys like Herb Williams, Anthony Mason, and Charles Smith can come out and give a great offensive effort as well as defensive, and you have better team balance.
For you personally, coming off the injury, Do you still think about it out on the court? Does it affect you mentally as if you didn't have it?
No, I mean, it never bothers me, you know what I mean? Once I had the surgery, the morning after the surgery, I was up in rehabbing it, and it's something I want to forget about and continue to play. My leg feels good, I feel good, and hopefully I just want to build on it and have a very successful year.
All right, finally, last year in December, there was the tough loss to the Rockets here at the Garden in December, and players talked about it for several weeks afterwards. Do you think you guys, at least in the back of your mind, will be thinking about last night for some time to come?
I hope so. You know what I mean? Things like that are learning tools. You know, when you get beat like that, you never want to get beat like that, and you never really want to beat anybody like that either, because it's very embarrassing and it hurts. But one thing about it is we took that embarrassing loss to the Rockets and we wound up meeting them in the finals. So a loss like that this early in the season can be used as a learning tool, and hopefully we can go on the rest of the season and just build on that.
All right, Anthony, thank you. Nice game.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Anthony Bonner, one of the good stories tonight for the Knicks. The bench in general, a great game, especially offensively, with Patrick Ewing only scoring 3 points. Guests receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks are available where American Express traveler's checks are sold. Players receive gifts by Carl Kanai, inspired by the streets of Brooklyn. Carl Kanai footwear is available at Dr. J's. Recognize the collection that symbolizes unity and power, Carl Kanai. Tonight's guest, Anthony Bonner, will receive dinner for two at Martini's Restaurant, located at 53rd and 7th Avenue, an Italian trattoria with New York City's largest outdoor cafe, another fine Reese restaurant. And some of our guests receive a watch from Fendi, the 900 series, registered Italian design, finely crafted in Switzerland with a quartz movement for precision timekeeping. Water resistant to 165 feet. The Fendi timepiece collection available at Macy's and other fine department and jewelry stores. Let's go back now to Al Trautwig for more of our postgame show.
Bud, don't go anywhere. You're going to get busy in a moment as the Knicks beat the Bullets by the final score of 111-95. The Knicks will get a chance to think about it tomorrow, and then they'll be in action again on Monday night when they take on the 76ers of Philadelphia with Sean Bradley and company. Game night begins our coverage right here on MSG beginning at 7 o'clock. If you can't be with us, join us on the Fan. Coming up next, Bud Michigan will anchor the Knicks post-game report. Moment to tell you that Madison Square Garden announcers clothing is provided by Perry Ellis Menswear. Our director is Bob Lewis, producer Howard Singer, statistician tonight Eric Merlis. I'm Al Trautwig. Thanks for joining us for Knicks basketball.
New York Knicks basketball has been brought to you by Ice Draft. Taste the future of draft beer. New ice brewed ice draft from Budweiser. By Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp. Turns dandruff problems into great looking hair. By AT&T International Business Services. Let AT&T work for you. By the Discover Card, the card with the big payback. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Imagine your favorite Christmas story live.
Landover earlier in the week, but not tonight. The Knicks with a 16-point win. An interesting night for them, a night in which Patrick Ewing sat for much of the game, only 3 points, but they got a lot of offensive output from other players, in particular the bench. Anthony Mason, Anthony Bonner, Greg Anthony with a solid effort, and they came through with the intensity mid and late fourth quarter so that the Bullets could not put together a run and get anywhere seriously close near the end of the game. An important game for the Knicks, especially coming after the debacle last night in Orlando. Let's take a look at the leading scorers tonight for the Knicks and the Bullets. First of all, the Knicks, the leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. A sensational game for Charles Smith. Several great moves inside. The confidence obviously building for Charles. He led the Knicks with 23. Anthony Mason off the bench, very strong, in particular in the first half. John Starks didn't start the second half. It was Hubert Davis's gig at that point, but he came in mid-third quarter and he played solidly the rest of the way, trying to get the confidence back from the rough stretch he's had of late. Again, Anthony Bonner off the bench with a solid game, and Derek Harper with 10. As for the Bullets, Scott Skiles with 20 points. Calbert Chaney off the bench had 19. Chris Webber with 18 and Rex Chapman with 14. The Bullets with a terrific game last night against the Pistons from the outside, but tonight they just didn't have it from three-point range. Let's take a look at some final stats for you as we go over the Knicks win. The Bullets shooting 46%, and there's pretty much your story right there. The field goal percentage for the Knicks at 60%. They out-rebounded the Bullets. Pretty much every statistic that you see, offensive statistic, the Knicks bested the Bullets tonight. In particular, the bench points, 58-33. That's the story for the Knicks tonight. We'll have more on your post-game show right after this.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
For more money, you need...
It was obvious we didn't have any major hangovers from that loss. You know, got some great performances out of the bench and a lot of intensity out of the bench, which is, you know, a real good plus. So that's maybe a step back to something good happening.
Pat, did you go away from Patrick tonight intentionally on offense to set up?
No, we're just playing the game. We're just playing the game, and basically that's the way, you know, it worked out. You know, so Charles was very active, just active early, got a lot really on his own early in the game. You know, had 3 or 4 buckets just on breaks and hustle plays, and you know, when he's in it intensely that way too, I mean, he can get so much more done than just always having to go to him and direct it to him.
Nonetheless, how many times would you like to see Patrick score 3 points and think he can win a game?
The issue is to get this team right now, is really to get the team right, get us playing together, get the feeling back that it's a privilege to be here in New York and not take it for granted. I don't care who it is. And we have to get our team in sync together, not really worry about any 1 or 2 things, but to get us playing together as a team. And we haven't done that, you know, on a regular basis. That's what it's going to take.
Were you pleased with the defensive effort tonight, Pat?
Yeah, the intensity was a lot better, you know, for the most part, especially, again, the second unit. They were up and into people contesting shots, and, you know, we have, you know, these, we have these stupid indicators, okay? they're nothing but numbers, but they indicate, you know, something. And, you know, when you're contesting 31% of your shots, you're going to lose 70% of your games. And that's basically what we have been doing. You know, not getting up on shooters, not getting up on shots, not contesting layups and stuff like that. So that is strictly, you know, intensity.
What was the thinking behind not playing Starks at the start of this third?
What's that?
What was the thinking behind not playing Starks at the start of the second half?
Coach's decision, that's all.
I saw you had some words with Starks at that timeout in the second quarter.
I was talking to the team at that time. It was basically a team problem.
Well, is there a particular reason that you made?
Coach's decision, you know.
Is there a reason?
I made a decision, that's all. Doesn't have to be belabored. Doesn't have to be belabored.
Will Starks start against Philadelphia Monday?
Probably, I'm sure, yeah.
Pat, was the coaching better tonight than it was last night?
The win was better, I'll tell you that. Okay.
A smile from Pat Riley, certainly something we did not see last night in Orlando. Strong game for Charles Smith.